He waits atop a throne of skulls.
Welcome, my friends, to the second Turin Open. Today, guys, you're here for the Thanksgiving edition. So let's go ahead and break it down a little bit. So for anyone who's new to the game, maybe new to the multiplayer community, I'm going to be hosting a series of open tournaments. So pretty much all you have to do to participate, whether you're a very experienced player, a newer player looking to jump into multiplayer, is be in the Discord. And I'm going to be announcing these probably once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. It depends on the time frame of things, but nonetheless, they're open tournaments. So if you guys want to play, we'll be dropping links to Discord over the course of the stream. Now, as far as the tournament goes, we can take a look at the bracket for the day. So you can see we had some pretty fierce competition. Coming up into the finals today, we have Zero facing off against Random Mix and Flying Taco. I don't know if Imperator's updated his score yet, so let's go ahead and refresh that real quick and see if it fixes up. And yes, so it's going to be Flying Taco facing off against Imperator. So you guys can see pretty much all the results from earlier. We had some pretty serious games for sure. Zero, of course, had a pretty nice path to victory, defeating Ark in the Black. And I believe Falcon had to drop. I don't know if he actually played his games in total. But regardless, solid victories over A-Move Hacker as well. And here, Randomix coming up the bracket. And let's see who he played. It looks like he defeated Chosen 1 2-1. And then he defeated Aneurysm Sauce 2-0. So pretty cool stuff for sure. And from there, it looks like Flying Taco. Let's take a look at his path to victory. He had a victory over Ben the Barman, 2-0 over Hadries as well. Certainly very impressive. And then it looks like he's going to be facing off against Imperator, who is certainly a very, very good player as well. Imperator, of course, started in the bottom bracket playing against Dragon RM Namru. And then it looks like he played against BBB Chief as well with a 2-0 victory. And now this is our finals, guys. It's time. Welcome, guys. Hopefully you're ready to go. I am hyped. It looks like the first two players are just getting ready, making the final tweaks of their build. It's going to be Zero versus Randomix here in our first game. So let's go ahead and switch over to the lobby and have some fun. All right, here we go. So yeah, Zero versus Randomix. It's going to be Dwarves versus Lizardmen. Now, as far as the picks and bans go, let's go ahead and take a look here while I sip some tea. It looks like Zero went Lizards and he banned Skaven and Tomb Kings. So dwarves certainly have some nice applications against the lizards. Looking forward to seeing what Random Mix brings here. Maybe some Iron Drakes with Trollhammer torpedoes. Maybe we're going to get some wild flamethrower picks. Who knows? Could you possibly have a tournament without people? You know, Mole Spaghetti. You got to step it up, man. Oh, guys, and also something else to mention is that Lore Master of Sotek played in today's tournament, and he did very well. He won his first round 2-0, and then he had a very, very good series against Hadries, dropping the series 2-1, but nonetheless, he did very good. I mean, a very, very tough opponent, and I look forward to having the great Lore Master of Sotek in more tournaments as well. Not just a Lore Master, a multiplayer master as well. So yes, we do have a tournament Discord, so for anyone who wants to play in tournaments, just come in and practice, just be a part of that community. I do run a tournament Discord, but there's a bunch of very, very good ones as well. So we can direct you guys in any given direction that you're looking for. And it is Italian Spartacus. Yes, he is here. So yeah, we technically, Spartacus and I run a Discord together, which is like a big community Discord, and it has multiplayer in it. And then we also have another Discord, which is like focused mainly on multiplayer and tournaments, just to kind of keep the chat focused on that there. So yes. How dare Hadries not make it to the semis, says Sotek. All right, guys, so here's game one. It's going to be 0 facing off against Random Mix. This is the top 4 of this open tournament, and I'm excited. Thanksgiving edition. I know, Sotek, I got to see those replays, man. I got to see the replays. Oh, yes. It's go time. Let's have some fun. So, first map's going to be Pillar of Bone. Relatively small map. I guess you could say it's kind of a medium-sized map. I actually think it's one of the better ones, for sure. Oh, Ryan, Italian Spartacus, Sotek, anyone interested in 40k? So last night, I decided there's a new kind of release for Warhammer 40k for Chaos Space Marine. So I'm going to be making a Word Bearers detachment. I'm very excited for it. So I started painting a Sorcerer on a bike and a Smash Captain or a Smash Chaos Lord for Chaos. I'm very, very excited for that. So anyways, guys, first game here. It's going to be 0. Playing the Lizards. Front line for him is going to be a bunch of Saurus. No Red Crested Skinks mixed in, so it doesn't look like he's going to be getting... Oh, no, he does have some. I was wondering. I'm like, having a couple of those is pretty good. They have good AP values against Dwarves, so you follow up after Saurus, you get some good AP, you get some good poison. Certainly not a bad situation at all. In the back, he's got a couple Skink cohorts, and for his Lord... Oh, is it going to be Dwayne Gorok Johnson? Yes, coming in with the shield, so he's pretty good. Silver Shield is very good against Dawi gun lines, and on top of that, he's just tanky, good AP values, and some decent abilities as well in the form of the Mace of Ulamak. Rockovitz, the Rockovitz, I love it. And yeah, he does have 2 to the death as well, which gives leadership and melee attack. So a couple skinks as well, just to pressure flanks. And now let's take a look at his monsters. So for his monsters, he does have the Amexon Barbs. Interesting. So these guys, Razordons did get buffed recently, but I haven't seen him used against dwarves too much. But I really like this as kind of a countermeasure against gyrocopters. So that's a pretty cool pick as well. And a couple groups of Croc Scores with their Spankin' Paddles, a pretty aggressive lizard build. But is it going to be able to handle the dreaded quad gyrocopter build coming out from Random Mix? So Random, of course, coming in with the quad gyrocopters, which I believe all have brimstone guns. Brimstone guns do, of course, have bonus versus large. The reason why I'm doing Word Bearers is because they got some really cool stratagems, and I want to use some possessed units. So basically, I'm just going to be doing that to answer your question. Gyrocopters with brimstone guns here in the front line. It's going to be Longbeards, Norgrimlings, Ironbreakers, Longbeards, and a couple of groups of Bolt Throwers with, yeah, pretty much a classic dwarf box, which if you're going to go for the quad gyrocopter, you're going to be missing stuff on the ground. So having a very tight formation is certainly not a bad idea. We got King Belagar Ironhammer, the true king of Carrick 8 Peaks. And on top of that, guys, we do also have Dragonback Slayers and a couple Trollhammer Torpedoes. Yeah, it's going to be 2 of those in total. It's going to be fun. We got Amexon Barbs. We got Dwayne Gorok Johnson. This is going to be a great game. I'm very excited. Gorok isn't great in too many matchups, stolen memes, but he's actually not bad against dwarves. Since he has good AP, he's very, very durable. He has a silver shield and, yeah, just good leadership. So against dwarves, like Footlords can be okay. Like, they can actually be better than big targets because, for example, if you're on like a Stegodon or you're on a Carnosaur, you're going to be a much bigger target for Trollhammer Torpedoes and, you know, a lot of the artillery pieces. Where on some foot, you can kind of like hide amongst your troops and it's just a tougher target to take out, basically. But there are matchups, of course, like most matchups in general, like you're going to want to have a mounted lord or something like that. But there are some niche applications in which having like a very tanky foot lord that's just cheap and durable is very, very cost effective. So start anytime. No need to wait. I love Belagar. Belagar's great. It's time. It is time. Welcome, guys. Welcome. So the quad gyrocopters. Now, Brimstone guns did get the buff, getting bonus for large relatively recently. I can't remember. I think that was the most recent patch in the Hunter and the Beast DLC, which is a very, very fun one. So gyrocopters with brimstone guns going to be surging forward, probably just focusing Kroxigors. MX on barbs, like I said, are a good countermeasure, but I mean, against 4 gyrocopters with good positioning, basically what the dwarves can do is they can get the bolt throwers to pick off the MX on barbs, and then from there they can use the gyrocopters to just focus down Kroxigors. Now, it's not going to be like a super quick kill. They have decent burst damage, but nonetheless, Lizard should be able to get in and make some pretty good contact here. So bolt throwers opening up here, going to be taking some freebie shots against Saurus, taking out 4 models, so 1 bolt per Saurus right there. And it looks like the gyrocopters are going to be fanning out in 2 directions, which is good because the MX on barbs, have to choose one way or the other here. So Kroxigor is going to be getting blasted, and yeah, it does some pretty good damage. After that buff to the bonus versus large, it's certainly very substantial. So Zero looks like he's going to be running up and through the trees here, maybe trying to loop around, get these guys in the behind this little kind of a cairn right here, so maybe he can line of sight them. Yeah, we'll find out. On the other side, same thing happening, but now the MX on barbs have come into position and going to be, oh man, look at the burst damage on the MX on barbs. Those guys really doing some serious work against those Dolby gyrocopters. My goodness. So at this point, I think Randomix needs to get his bolt throwers and start focusing down the barbs so the gyrocopters can have free range on Kroxigors. Because, if the 2 bolt throwers sit on the barbs for, I would say maybe like, old barb, if they sit for like a minute or 2 there, it should be able to break them down pretty quickly with a bonus for large there. And yeah, you can see damage starting to trickle in. So this gyrocopter is still shooting at the Kroxigors. Same thing going down on the other side. Are the dwarves going to be able to hold though? It's a pretty big lizard bum rush. Blasting charges going down in the front from the Norgrimling's Ironbreakers, and bolt throwers shooting about face here against the MX on barbs. So yeah, and it looks like one of the gyrocopters is going after the barbs as well. But yeah, the barbs will certainly have a much better trade there. It's going to be pretty serious. So a lot of the Kroxigors have taken some topical damage, nothing terribly substantial. And the front line, Saurus have rushed in as well to meet these Longbeards in combat. Longbeard's just a very solid infantry choice. They have really, really good combat stats and also are immune to psychology. So yeah, blasting charges going down here. The first group of Sauruses have been shreked pretty hard. And now the Kroxigors of Zero are going to be surging in, but Dragback Slayers are ready to meet them. So far the dwarves intercepting a lot of these threats from the lizards very effectively. So we're going to be seeing these Kroxigors getting pushed off pretty quickly, but really, he has to be careful because now Randomix, oh no, big mistake here. He overchases with too many units, leaving a massive seam in his back line. And now you can see these 2 bolt throwers are pretty much just fresh fish. If Zero's able to kind of micro these guys quick enough, get them on top of the bolt throwers before the dwarves can correct that mistake, it's going to be pretty bad. So, I mean, the bolt throwers have already done pretty well for themselves, I suppose. Gyrocopters are somewhat healthy. Oh, but nice. So the Skink Priest, the Beast in the back, is going to be summoning a Manticore as well. And the Manticore, of course, very good at just kind of chasing down gyrocopters. But as of now, gyrocopters with brimstone guns are hammering down these Kroxigors, doing pretty substantial damage. Over here, let's take a look. Dwayne Garrock Johnson has gotten into the front line, and it looks like he's going to be going after the Iron Drakes with the Trollhammer Torpedoes, which is a good choice. And yeah, he hits very, very hard. He kind of looks like one of those, you guys remember that really disturbing, like, cartoon, or, like, it was like a practical effects show. I think it was just called Dinosaurs in the 90s with those like really creepy big dinosaurs. He totally looks like one of those guys. Anyways, the Manticore Summit is going to be jumping here on the Iron Drakes with the Trollhammer Torpedoes. And it looks like a lot of the dwarf stuff is being shut down pretty heavily. Granted, the lizards have also taken substantial damage. Nice bomb going down there from the gyrocopter and the brimstone gun, but when he lost those bolt throwers, that was pretty unfortunate. But what's okay about bolt throwers is they only cost 550, so it's not like you're losing like 2 cannons or a goblobber or something like that. But nonetheless, letting his backline be compromised and kind of swarmed there, a bit of a mistake in my opinion. So gyrocopter is still shooting in and getting some pretty solid value. Now, as far as the gyro presence, we have 3 here, we have 3 gyros right here, we have 2 here, so they're pretty much at full fighting capacity. And it looks like we have the duel of duels. We have King Belagar fighting against Dwayne Garrock Johnson here, I think, at the pits. Or was that Belagar? Oh, he's not fighting Dwayne, is he? Yeah, Dwayne Garrock Johnson. They're having a bit of a duel. So Belagar is heavily outnumbered, but he's a dwarf. He's stalwart. He has 60 melee defense, 120 armor. Granted, really, really good AP amongst those guys. And oh man, the MX on Barb shooting in and melting those gyrocopters. Now, bouncing power is really even. The Dwarven infantry is holding pretty firm. Longbeards still have 56 models here. Dragonback Slayers are basically just cleaving through skinks, which isn't the most effective use of their skill set, but still not bad. And somehow, some way, the Iron Drakes with Trollhammer Torpedoes are still online here. These guys have gotten back online, and they're just going to be teeing off into the Kroxigors. Zero really needs to grab something, whether it be a Manticore or some skinks or just something, and shut these guys down, because if they can sit and shoot in tandem with the gyrocopters, it's going to be a really, really bad time for all of these lizard troops on the ground. So Belagar has fallen back here. Dwayne Garrock Johnson has popped the Rock of Itza, giving him physical resist and vigor, so he's going to be very tanky. Belagar doesn't really want any of that duel right now. Belagar's best situation would probably be to get back here and stand on top of the Norgrimling's Ironbreakers. I think that would probably be his best choice, but oh, it looks like he's going after the caster! And I think this King Priest has pretty much used all of his good spells, or his Manticore summons, I should say. He still does have the Wyson's Wild Form. Surprised we don't see an Ember Spear. Ember Spear is very good against like Ironbreakers and very defensive dwarf builds and things like that. So this gyrocopter here is sitting and shooting quite happily, and it looks like pretty much all the Kroxigors are offline. It looks like there's a group of 5 right here, there's a group of 4 here, but I mean, for the most part, those guys are on their last legs. And so are these Dragonback Slayers as they chase in with their last 15 models, up to 86 kills. Gyrocopter ammunition is pretty good, but remember they cost 800 apiece, so that's, you know, over 2,000 gold worth of investment in those guys. And yeah, I don't know. We'll see. When they run out of ammo, ammunition does affect the balance of power, but this is a very even game. Both players fighting tooth and nail. The Ironbreakers could be the deciding factor, just having these guys tank it out, with the Gyrocopters actually being a decent cycle charging tool against like Skinks and Saurus Infantry and things like that in the late game. Could be very interesting. So now that there's no more Croc scores, really, I mean, there are a couple here. Oh, those are Amixon Barbs. It looks like the Gyrocopters are going to be taking a methodical focus and just going after Garok, which is good because he's going to be very tough to kill. Ironbreakers don't have great AP, Garok has 100 armor, and Belegar will do some damage, but Belegar, again, doesn't have the best AP values as well. More of like a defensive tanking character, so we'll see how that works out. So some of the Gyrocopters are being taken down. This one has 2 models, this one has 1. And yeah, the Amixon Barbs, even though they were really the only dedicated anti-large or anti-flying troop, actually, or not troop, but monster choice, whatever you want to call them, they actually did pretty well. So the Dwarves pretty much forming up at Helm's Deep. Lizards are pulling the balance of power back towards the middle. There was a point in the game where it was slightly Dwarf favored, but man, these Ironbreakers are going to be a pain to kill. This is going to be a grindy one. We have a ton of Saurus. We have Skinks and Saurus, just a bunch of these guys just going fisticuffs here with the Ironbreakers and King Belegar. Gyrocopters, this is a very unusual situation for the Dwarves, wherein in the late game they have like a ton of mobility left. The Dwarves, oh man, if Randomix gets all these Gyrocopters and actually slams into the Amixon Barbs right here, oh, that would be brutal because all 4 of them could probably break off the Barbs, which would be very, very strong. So now we're back in the pits here. We have the dual Belegar, the king of Carrick 8 Peaks, surging into this lizard army here with some of his Longbeards. And the Ironbreakers are going to be following up. It looks like they were maybe prepping some blasting charges, but we have a pit fight on our hands. This is going to be a good old-fashioned slobber knocker, as they say. Let's have some tea here. I know. The Dwarf Air Force, the Royal Dawi Air Force, doing very well. Ah, it's some delicious tea. Goodness gracious. So no Iron Drakes left online. Amixon Barbs, how are they doing? It looks like they're still here, and they're out of ammo, but Amixon Barbs do have decent AP values in melee combat, so probably using them to chase down kind of a rear charge dwarf units could be pretty substantial here. But it looks like the Lizard Infantry isn't going to be able to stand up to the might of the Dwarven Empires. The Ironbreakers, led by King Belegar, are just holding firm. Dwayne Garok Johnson, of course, doing his best to cleave through, but Ironbreakers have insane melee defense. Like, it is just off the charts. So even his really good melee attack, which I assume is like 60 or above. No, it's only 45, so it looks like Dwayne is more of like a kind of a defensive character, much like Belegar, that just has better EP values. But Belegar Ironhammer holding firm, Gyrocopters with the Brimstone guns sitting in the back, and I very much wonder, do the Dwarves have any bombs left? So this Gyrocopter is coming above. Is it going to be dropping a piece here? It looks like it was thinking about it. A little bit risky. Friendly damage, of course, coming on the Ironbreakers and things like that would not be welcome, but it looks like, yeah, the Dwarven army's just out-tanking this Lizardman force. Amixon Barbs here doing a very good job chasing down some Longbeards, but the Gyrocopters from the Dwarves are also chasing off different assets here. So you can see the Saurus and different guys like that are just getting pushed off with the very tattered, beleaguered Gyrocopters. And, oh, they're asking if we can start. I'm like, yes, you can start. So Norgrimling's Ironbreakers, they got 67 models, guys. They're confident. It looks like Dwayne is killing like maybe 1 or 2 per swing, so it's going to take Dwayne some time. And I don't think the Saurus are going to be able to last as long as the Norgrimling's Ironbreakers. So this is probably the right play here for Zero. If he gets Garok Johnson and goes after Belegar and is able to win that duel, that would be something that could probably get him back in this game. Because on this course of action, if Belegar keeps fighting and Dwayne keeps going after the Ironbreakers, it's going to be a victory here for the Dwarves. Also, Randomix needs to make sure to grab his Ironbreakers as well and surge them into combat a little bit better. There you go. They weren't really like fully entrenched in combat, and now they're going to be piling in and should be able to beat most of these infantry. So Belegar falling back once again, trying to get a little bit more immersed here in his Ironbreakers, as he doesn't want to be fighting Dwayne in a straight-up duel. Granted, he might be able to win that. 60, 60, 450 against a little bit less melee attack on Dwayne. Granted, better AP values. Leadership on both of them is very, very good. So yeah, it's a bit of a, a toss-up in that respect. So Ironbreakers are still going, but Amixon Barbs coming in as well, and these Barbs, they have really, really good AP values. Like I said, 27 melee attack is going to struggle against that really high melee defense on the Ironbreakers, but now the Lizards are starting to buckle, and Randomix with the Dwarven cycle charging, you don't hear that terribly often. He does have these Gyrocopters, which are just going to be ramrodding these Saurus, and a lot of Lizards are actually coming back in. Lizards in general have very good leadership, and Belegar's actually winning the duel with Dwayne Garok Johnson. I mean, he does outnumber him and have a couple Ironbreakers helping, but those Dwarven headbutts must have some pretty good AP values because he's getting in there and doing some work. But Saurus are coming in to reinforce their lord here, but the balance of power is going in the favor of the Dwarves, as Norgrimling's Ironbreakers and company just holding firm. And it looks like Dwayne, I don't know if he's going to have enough. It looks like Longbeards are coming back in. We have some Longbeards here. That's going to make a pretty big difference for sure. And Amixon Barbs, of course, in combat here, trying their best, but they're rampaging now, which pretty much seals their doom. And Ironbreakers are just so good. I mean, God, they're so tanky. Norgrimlings are insane. And yeah, Belagar, a really interesting pick here, but he seems to be doing pretty good. You'd think like if you're going to get a Dwarf Footlord, just get like someone with good AP values against lizards, but I guess getting someone who's more survivable isn't a bad idea either. Just kind of, you know, that long game, right? So Belagar's sitting at 98 freaking leadership, and Dwayne at -1. The Mace of Ulamog is not going to save him as the dwarves sing their battle cries and are able to defeat Dwayne Garrock Johnson. So that's going to be game 1 for Randomix. Man, what a dwarf gyrocopter Air Force. That was really cool. And I love Zero's build too. He had like a Manticore summons, he had the Amixon Barbs as a countermeasure, but nonetheless, the dwarven durability with the Iron Drakes and the Iron Breakers and the Longbeards and Belagar were able to win the day. But yeah, the Gyros did a really good job at shutting down the Croc scores. That was very, very impressive stuff. So on that note, let us update the scoreboard. It is 1-0 in this best of 3. So we're going to have 2 best of 3s today, followed up by a best of 5 finals. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. Cool. So game 2. Let's do it to it. Hey, what's up, Alex Draco? Welcome to the stream. Well played, well played. And next we're going to be on Oakenhammer. Oakenhammer next. Forgot an M there, but it's okay. That was a great game. It was really fun. Seeing King Belagar just going fisticuffs. Never gets old. Never gets old. Ah, some good tea right there. Oh, yeah, that's the stuff. So, Randomix, he's just going to check the map. He likes to check the maps before the game to make sure he has like the proper armies and deployments and things like that. So, yeah, of course. No problem. No problem. Some people know all the maps, some don't. Not a problem at all. Yeah, the Saurus, I mean, it's not only the AP that is the issue against Iron Breakers, it's the fact that Saurus have like, I think melee attack in the high 20s or low 30s against like 80 something melee defense. So it's more that the Saurus aren't hitting them as much. The Iron Breakers are very durable there. Yeah, they were really phenomenal. Phenomenal? Yes, correct. Gyros aren't meta, but they're not bad either. There's some niche applications, for sure. Like, against lizards, I think they can be pretty good. Especially since they got a buff to their bonus versus large. Maybe if the Amixon Barns took out the Gyros completely, they could have won. Well, Spaghetti, certainly so. But it's hard. Gyrocopters are very fast. They have like 100 speed. So it's not as easy as you think. Gok Thim says, Turn, thanks for starting early. Happy Euro noises. Jamie, my 1000 Suns build, usually I just run 1000 Suns as a Supreme Command detachment in 40k, so I don't really use them as like a full army, but yeah, right now I'm trying out the Word Bearers because they got some really fun stratagems, plus I just want to use some really haggard possessed units and see what they can do. So yeah, just having some fun. Who's tankier, Belagar or Thorgrim? Thorgrim probably. Thorgrim has like 5000 plus HP. I don't know though, Belagar's like a little bit harder to snipe because he's like on foot, whereas like Belagar's kind of mounted, but I'm pretty sure that Thorgrim would be a little bit harder to kill. Granted, that's not necessarily true. Let me think about this before I give you an uninformed answer. So the thing is, Belagar has a silver shield, Thorgrim has no shield, and he's also a bigger target. He has more HP, but basically Belagar's like harder to snipe because he's a Footlord and he also has a shield. So I don't know, maybe Belagar is. And he has some mighty Oathstone too. Sec here, guys. My computer like fan is just making all these weird sounds. There we go. All good. Turn, what do you think about random selection tournament? Opponent picks your race and you get 3. Well, the thing about that is like the best way to win that tournament would just to be study your opponents. Like know who you're playing, like look at their previous tournament performances and their matchups and yeah. Belagar, yeah, he's really cheap too. Like he only costs like 1,000 gold or something. That's what Falcon's saying in chat. Richard Lee. Yeah, I've been getting more into tea. Ever since I stopped drinking coffee, it's been like a bit of a saving grace. I don't do caffeine at all. Caffeine actually constricts your vocal cords. So it makes it a little bit harder to like cast and work for me. Like you have to warm up more and it takes more time to get going. Neiman, is it possible that you give a heads up before you start your streams? Yeah, I should give more of a head up for sure. I'll have to be better about that. I'm just so impulsive with them. I just like kind of randomly like, yeah, let's do a tournament. But today's was planned ahead of time. So it was announced in the tournament Discord, but yeah, I'll do a better job, Neiman, for sure. Will there be any multiplayer campaigns in the future? Yeah, someday. Probably when there's like, new content coming in the future, perhaps. And Yurzum Sauce says, Randomix better win 2-0 after the sweep on me. I swear to yes, I'm not salty. All right, so Zero is a Chaos main. Chaos is his best faction, so he's going to be coming in with the sweet, sweet Chaos Steel Chair. And now for his picks and bans. Oh no, it looks like Randomix picked Lizardmen and banned Dwarves, or no. Was that Dwarves and Skaven? Yeah, it looks like Dwarves and Skaven. And Zero's going to be going with Chaos, which pretty much just devolves into a monster mash. Usually it's going to be like just Kolek or you know, some sort of big single entities just going fisticuffs. So I drink herbal tea. So like I just drink like mint tea and stuff like that. It doesn't have any caffeine in it. It basically just like warm me up and warm my voice and all that. So yeah, I'll fight Sotek as well for sure in a head-to-head. We're doing it eventually. We won't forget. Hey, Mr. Jorgensen, thank you for the 20 DKK. What is this? No BDSM helps. Yeah, you know, different playstyles, man. Like last time we had a lot of Dark Elf players make it to the finals, but this time it's like Dwarf, Chaos, Lizardman players. It's although I believe some folks on the other semifinals. You guys hear that? So Wookiee's in the room right now. He's sleeping in his little bed, and like anytime I move like towards him, he just like he gets so defensive when he's on his bed. Nothing yet, Zypher. Nothing yet. Silver and Gold Investing. I remember you too, man. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for sticking around. So players are picking their armies now. We'll take a look at a preview for what's to come a little bit later. So let's go ahead here and go down to the cap. So, of course, this is the match between Zero and Random Mix. And next we have Flying Taco facing off against Imperator in our next best of 3. And the winners of these 2 best of 3s will face off in a best of 5 finals, which should be a ferocious cockfight for the ages. Certainly had some pretty good competition today. You can see the Great Lore Master of Sotek here. Yeah, just really, really fun games across the board. So, yeah, I think that's it. That's it for the brackets. What's really cool about like this website is you can actually like see people's like tournament history and like see their win rates and things like that. It's very, very cool. I didn't use it before. I mainly just kind of manually did it, but it makes it a lot easier for like doing maps and just communicating information and rules and things like that. So very excited to start using this service here. So let's come back up to the scorecards. Still picking their armies here. Sebastian, Lotus Moon didn't sign up. It might have been a little bit hard for him because he has like a very different time zone. So unfortunately for him, I'm sure it's very tough, but he is more than welcome to the tournaments if he wants to. It's an open tournament, so it's just first come, first serve. And it was a 32-man tournament at first with a cap. And I think we had 30 people, so there were still open spots. Like people could have joined for sure. Norska or Chaos, better roster so far? I think Norska is a little bit stronger than Chaos. Yeah, they just have a couple, like, I don't know, they seem more fleshed out. Their lords are really powerful. Wolfric's really good. Famir really good. Skin Wolves are good. Like, they have a ton of good units. Their infantry are just better Chaos infantry in some ways. I mean, granted, Chaos Warriors have their own, like, niche. Probably a little bit better than, like, standard Marauders in some ways, or Marauder Champions. Well, I don't know. Marauder Champions are pretty damn good. Just for the cost, I suppose. Falcon did play earlier, but I believe he had to drop out. So I think he's just hanging out and watching now. The Dark Lord himself was in the tournament. Yes. Do you have any news on Festog reveal yet? Nothing yet, man. We'll see. We will see. All in due time, brother. Yeah, Challenge is a great website for sure. I'm glad I started using it. It's pretty nice for communicating, like I said, and things like that. All right, so Zero's ready. His Chaos Force, I wonder what he's going to pick. Maybe like Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes, Chaos Warriors with shields, and like Dragon Ogres and things like that. I mean, I would imagine that's going to be how you have to go about it. Using like Lore of Shadows to pendulum down like Temple Guard, Enfeebling Foe to win those monster duels, all that sort of good stuff. We'll have to find out. All right, one sec here. Just checking all the settings here. Looks like we're all good. So Zero on the ropes here. If he does drop this, Random X will be going on to the grand finals of today's tournament to face off against the winner of Imperator and Flying Taco. Aerocastic, hanging out in voice chat with the boys. I know, it's always fun. It's really fun to like watch your friends playing tournaments and just like, yeah, hang out and chat. Mango juice on one side, blueberry fruit snacks on the other. That sounds pretty good. All right, guys, we're jumping into the next match, which is going to be Zero's Chaos facing off against the Children of the Old Ones, who shall be led by Random Mix. Good times to come. Welcome again, guys, to the second Turin Open. It's going to be a regular series here on the channel, hopefully for years to come. Whatever game we're covering, which will hopefully always be a Total War game, assuming they all have a good multiplayer support. Or at least good multiplayer play, I should say. All right, so here we go. Showtime. It is showtime. Let there be a reckoning. So we're going to be on Oakenhammer. It's a medium-sized map, give or take. Relatively open field, but Lizards and Chaos don't really care about this. Oh, I love this build here. I love it. Zero's build is great. Now, the dreaded double giant is actually really strong. Giants, for their cost, can fight against pretty much all the Lizardman dinos. Actually really good against the Dread Saurian, as a matter of fact. So we have the double Chaos Giant here. They cost 1,500. They cause terror. They're pretty much not unbreakable, but they take forever to break, so I love the Giant pick. On top of that, we have Kolek, so the 3 single entities are here, and they're ready to go. On top of that, we do have a Metalcaster with, what the hell is this? Gehenna's Golden Hounds and Plague of Rust? What's happening? What planet are we on? He does also have the Mirror Guard, which I would imagine he wanted to have like one elite troop choice just to stand his Giants on top of. Chaos Marauders aside from that, because again, double Giant plus Kolek is pretty expensive, and then a couple Marauder Horse Masters, it looks like. Horse Masters, Horsemen, and it looks like Horsemen. And again, Plague of Rust on big dinos with Horseman Fire can do some pretty good work. And that's it. Very, very cool army. The dreaded double Giant. And for the forces of Random Mix here, coming in with Lord Mazdamundi, his Royal Thickness. He does, of course, have Star Chamber Guardians, a couple Temple Guard as well. So 3 Temple Guard. These ones actually have Silver Chevrons pumped into them, so their leadership's going to be frickin' 95 right now. In the back, he has a bunch of Skink Cohorts with Javelins, a great tool for poisoning Giants, poisoning Marauder Horsemen, counter-skirmishing. Great pick. So yeah, Mazda, it's basically Mazdamundi and the Dread Saurian with a little bit of Temple Guard support facing off against these two Giants over here. Final Transmutation, I'm surprised we didn't see that. It's pretty good against like Lizard Blobs, especially Temple Guard Blobs, but nonetheless, Gehenna's Golden Hounds, a very interesting pick. And Weird Vids, thank you for the 10 SEK. Really appreciate your donation. I don't see a message, but hey man, appreciate it nonetheless. Adam V, I don't really play Historical Total Wars because they don't really have good multiplayer, so that's kind of the main issue for me. At the moment, they don't. And multiplayer in Total War Warhammer is just so much better. It's so much better. Yeah, the Dread Saurian. As a matter of fact, there was actually a replay. Somebody in the tournament today had a really good win against a good opponent using the Shredder of Lustria, which was very, very cool. I saw a screenshot of it. I didn't actually see the game myself. So here you can see the Javelins, again, doing their job, counter-skirmishing. That's pretty much what they're for. And Zero's Marauder Horsemen are going to be having a bit of a hard time getting in position. But what I would probably do if I were Zero, and mind you, he's a much better Chaos player than me, so this is just my 2 cents. I would probably just pull back my Marauder Horsemen behind my front line and just use them as like an archer unit, because the Skinks then, with infantry buffering in the front, won't be able to really reach the target they want to reach. So Kolek's going to be going in as well, maybe trying to get some freebies here on the Skinks, probably going to be dropping Lord of the Storm, I would imagine, on the Star Chamber Guardians. And he's going to be going in for a pretty aggressive charge here, but it looks like the Temple Guard will screen out. And the Dread Saurian, oh, the clash! The Dread Saurian going in, Kolek's on the run! The Apex Predator going after him. Kolek needs to get out for sure. Oh no, is that a net? Oh, that's a really bad situation. Kolek Sun Eater getting netted down by the Dread Saurian. I mean, that's like one of the things that's really punishing, because the Giants are so slow, and Kolek is just kind of getting bumped and not having a good time there. Really, really rough start for Chaos so far. Zero does come in and try and screen out with his Marauder Horseman, but the Giants are coming in now. As long as Kolek doesn't go below like 50%, it is, I would say, a salvageable situation. And you can see here, Lord of the Storm going to be getting dropped in the back of the Dread Saurian, which should hit those Temple Guard and do some good work. Ruination of Cities from Mazdamundi, popping some of these Marauders in the face, but Kolek got taken to absolute Pound Town, which is very unfortunate. Very, very rough start for sure. So the Dread Saurian getting the shield of the old ones, Temple Guard standing pretty firm, and the Double Giants as well are now going to be going in and just trying to work down Mazdamundi. Plague of Rust also popped on Mazdamundi as well. But yeah, you can see here Zero has fallen back with the Horsemen, just going to be using them as kind of a missile unit now. Kolek probably wants to just kind of cycle charge Mazdamundi. I would say for Kolek, go like right here and engage against Mazda, because if you go over here, the Dread Saurian's going to be able to chase you, and Nets of Amnitok on Mazdamundi is going to be off cooldown relatively soon, which means he's going to be able to net Kolek. Oh, Gehenna's Haggard Hounds going down. Banishment as well. Just wild vortexes from all players. The Giants, of course, doing very well, and Mazda has taken a bit of work. But remember, guys, Nets of Amnitok is going to be off cooldown very, very soon. And there it is. So Kolek might be just getting taken to the grave here by Mazdamundi and this Dread Saurian. I mean, if Mazdamundi's the only one here fighting, it probably could be okay for Kolek. But if the dreaded Dread Saurian comes over here and is able to just jump on Kolek, that's going to be a really, really bad time. So let me see if I have any questions. Just saying good luck, have fun. Kolek's got a net for a couple more seconds. It looks like he's netted for 3, 2, and a 1, and he's going to be free. So that wasn't a bad situation, I guess. He got some damage on Mazdamundi, didn't take too much himself. So now if Kolek can escape this, it's going to be a much better situation for the Warriors of Chaos. So then, you know, it could have been. Kolek getting staggered, though. Oh, and the Dread Saurian with a big blow. Scroll of Shielding going down on Kolek as well. But man, he is getting hunted. The dinosaurs are trying to make him go extinct here, which would certainly not be good for them. Chaos Marauders doing a pretty good job against Skinks, of course, and it looks like some nice cycle charging play from the Marauder Horsemen, also lending aid in the Infantry Fight. And the Giants, of course, doing very well. Plague of Rust going down on the Temple Guard. The Double Giants are still going to be a problem, for sure. The Dread Saurian isn't going to be super good against Giants. I mean, it's going to be a fierce fight, for sure, but from a cost perspective, it's a good engagement for the Giants. So it looks like Warp Lighting, not Warp Lighting. What am I talking talking about. I mean, it is like Warp Lightning, probably technically, sort of, but it's going to be Lord of the Storm from Kolek, zapping those Temple Guard. And yeah, the Giants also need to make sure that they're not standing on top of Temple Guard. I mean, that's not a good situation for them. And Kolek's on the run. Kolek's very fast, though. Now, he is poisoned right now, but when he's not poisoned, Kolek's base speed is 78. Mazda Mundi is 50, and the Dread Saurian is 60. So, oh, the Golden Hound's coming down, spreading some damage on those guys. How many kills does he have? Only 15, so it must not have done that much damage. Zero still has okay ammunition as well in the Marauder Horseman here. I don't know, Zero might still be in okay shape. The fact that his two Giants are both pretty healthy is definitely a little bit scary for the Lizards. But yeah, this is what the Lizards want here. They want to take this engagement with the Giants or against the Giants while the Temple Guard are surging in and attacking in the back. So we'll see how this goes. Shield of the Old Ones going down from Randomix as well. Able to give really, really nice ward save and leadership to all these troops. And the Giants getting some work. This is Kolek's time to shine, though. If Kolek can come in here and, maybe push off Mazda Mundi, get a couple, like 3 or 4 solid attacks, that could be a big game changer. And he has to strike now because his Giants are going down. This one Giant in very bad shape. Oh, what a nice net from Mazda Mundi, but it looks like Kolek's still in range. Star Crusher is popped, meaning Kolek is going to hit like an absolute truck right now. But he gets splash damage, he gets armor piercing damage. And Mazda Mundi's kind of in the danger zone a little bit as some of these horsemen are throwing in, but he also has to make sure in the late game he has enough to actually deal with the dreaded Dread Saurian. So on top of that, his Chaos Sorcerer's getting in there. Zero basically knows this is do or die right now. He's throwing everything here on the table. Oh, and Mazda Mundi's broken! That is really big. So now at this point, Zero is going to be grabbing his Marauder Horseman probably and chasing Mazda Mundi off the battlefield, which means it's going to be the two Giants versus the dreaded Dread Saurian. But if he doesn't actually chase off Mazda Mundi, that's going to be a huge mistake. Like, I'm talking like game-ending mistake. But it looks like Zero here is going to be surging in, but he has to make sure to finish off Mazda. Because Mazda still has over 1,000 HP. If he comes back, he's going to be a difference maker. So on the ground, we have Temple Guard fighting. It looks like some of the Marauders have engaged as well. And Kolek is broken, but back. And he has 700 HP, which is still very substantial. And you can see here, Zero is going to be chasing off Mazda Mundi. Because again, if he didn't, Mazda would come back. He'd kind of calibrate here with the Dread Saurian, and that would be a very, very bad situation. So Zero actually doing a really good job pulling his way back in this game. His kiting here against the Temple Guard with the Golden Hounds of Gehenna. I mean, that's some like next level chaos play. I can't remember the last time I've seen that spell used. Mazda Mundi here, he's going to be the one going extinct. He is being hunted here by all the Marauder Horsemen, it looks like. And the Giants are basically just hunting the Dread Saurian, which isn't a bad idea, because if the Giants can keep the Dread Saurian away from Kolek, Kolek can just cycle charge and do a ton of work here against these Temple Guard, which would be very, very nice. Looks like Lord of the Storm coming down from Kolek as well. Going to be doing some nice damage against those Temple Guard. Beautiful stuff. It might even allow those Marauders to win that fight. That would be one of the probably greatest achievements in their life here. And the Temple Guard, yeah, I mean, they got great leadership, but they're very, very beat up here. A rear charge actually from these Chaos Forces could probably break these Temple Guard with the exception of the Star Chamber Guardians. And Mazda Mundi has been hunted, and wow, look at this. Zero is coming back in this game. What a comeback, man. He was on the ropes this entire game, and Kolek's just going to be cackling and laughing. He runs faster than the Dread Saurian. If he's poisoned, I believe they have the same speed. Yeah, you can see Kolek gets poisoned here, I think. Oh yeah, Kolek popped Bowseeker. He's like, screw this shit. I am not fighting that thing. I've had my fair share of engagements here, but the Star Crusher just doing work, and I love the double Giant build. I feel like Giants are just so solid against Lizards. Greenskins do it as well. Like Black Orcs with Giants, it can be a pretty mean build against the Greenskins. So the double Giant's coming in against Dread Saurian now, and I don't know what Dread Saurian's going to be able to do. He's just going to have to take this one like a champ, I think, because he'll never catch Kolek. Kolek's like the gingerbread man here. And yeah, if we look around, there's no more Lizards. It's just the Dread Saurian. So the Dread Saurian basically has to stay engaged in combat, if I'm not mistaken, in accordance with the rules of the tournament. Let's see what they're saying here. They're just, oh, Randomix is saying GG, it looks like. So maybe calling the early GG, trying to break the Dread Saurian down to 39 leadership with a rear charge here, and it looks like Plague of Rust going down as well. He's going to be getting harpooned by the Marauder Horseman as well, and that Dread Saurian is certainly not long for this Earth. Granted, he did take out one of those Giants, and I feel like Dread Saurians, look how many chevrons he has. He earned like 3 or 4 chevrons over the course of this battle. That is insane. I think there's a bit of a bug with Dread Saurians in the experience, but man, what a comeback by Zero. That was a crazy game. Kolek just getting those hooves moving. Man, that was insane. That was insane. So, very well played to Randomix. He had some great picks early in the game, but in the late game, Zero's micro and his pursuits and isolations were able to get him back in the game. What a very, very impressive performance by Zero there. That was great. And Randomix. And Randomix net play in the beginning, I thought it was just over, honestly. I was like, oh, that's really bad. You know, but he came back like an absolute champ. Absolute champ. So, next, guys, we're going to be going to the next game here. And the next map, let's go ahead and see what map we want to do. We shall do... not that one. This map kind of sucks. Let me see here. I'm looking at some maps right now. Wookiee's just grumbling behind me. He's like, ugh. Troll Country is a really fun map, but I feel like we want to do something a little bit different. Do Castle Drakenhof. You guys hear that? Wookiee, can you behave back there? If I go like even near Wookiee, he's gonna just go ham. Oh my god, he's just like... So our other dog, Lola, is trying to basically like cuddle in this dog bed we have in the bedroom, and like Wookiee's just like trying to push her out and like barking. God, he's so mean. He's so mean. Yeah, so Castle Drakenhof is the next map. It looks like a random mix is going to be going to check the map for deployment nuances. Very, very savvy play coming in here. And we'll see what he does. We'll see what they pick. Wookiee has spoken. Did you guys actually hear that? Wookiee is free. If I take a single step backwards right now, you guys will hear him barking. He literally just like, because whenever he's in the bed with our other dog, he gets like protective of her. Wookiee says hit the like button so I can get more treats. Yeah, I mean that is fair, Misha. A fair assessment of his linguistics over there. He's eyeing me right now. He knows I'm talking about him. He's eyeing me. Would cutting one Temple Guard unit and maybe a skink for a Salamander be wise? I don't know. I think unless you're committing more to the mobile game, the Salamander is a little bit risky because Zero has like hounds. Well, he had like a bunch of horsemen, a bunch of things that could really pressure Salamanders pretty bad. Or pretty well, I should say. Yeah, these have been great matches so far. A Dwarf victory, a Chaos victory. It's the days of old. You want me to take the step? All right, here we go. Wookiee, stop. Can I grab my water? Okay. Okay. I'm sorry, Wookiee. I literally was trying to grab my water bottle off the shelf back there, and he like gets all crazy. So Zero's gonna go with Norska, and he's gonna ban Skaven. I don't know if you guys could hear that. Those were like more low-key barks. It's okay, Wookiee. I just wanted my water. God, he's such a tyrant. Usually I keep him in the living room during streams, but he's just all curled up in here, so I feel bad moving him. Such a terror in the night. Yes, I'm building my Empire army, but it's a ways off. Basically, I'm going to be finishing my 40k stuff before I do the Empire, because now that they announced the Old World's coming back in Warhammer Tabletop, I'm kind of just like, okay, I'm just going to kind of wait for that before I really just go deep into like painting and focusing on my Empire army, because I basically was just going to play Sigmar to get to feel like I was playing Empire, but now that I know there's something down the road, I'm just going to focus more on 40k and eventually do that. You heard it? Mr. Pig, you heard it, Jason? Who would be fun? Would be fun to test a popularity poll between Wookiee and Paris Hilton's Rat? Oh, man. Well, come on, you guys would vote Wookiee. The unwilling one has been summoned. That's what the Dread Saurian sounds like. Yeah, he's back asleep now. It's literally, I move. If I creak the floor, he like looks up to bark at me. Yeah, Wookiee has shown me who the boss is. Yeah, absolutely. I know it is so tech. I mean, I'll still play here and there, but I enjoy 40k a lot. You know, I like the story of 40k and the lore and stuff. Like, that's a big part of the game for me as well. Like, I'm not like, I do play competitive, but I like to have some fluff in my armies, like some casual stuff mixed with very competitive, because I love narrative. I don't like narrative structures of games because it's very like luck based in 40k, but I like competitive structures with like semi lore friendly armies and stuff like that. So I know it's 3 years away, but I'm just gonna like, you know, every couple weeks like paint a couple Empire guys and just, you know, state troops, and eventually by the time it comes out, my army will be ready. Manuel E. Lopez, hello man, nice to catch a live feed. Cheers from Helsinki. Right on, man. Right on. Thank you so much for the donation. Hope all is well over in Helsinki. We're doing it. Have you heard of GW Other Game Middle Earth? Oh yeah, I've seen that. I think Anna has a couple minis from that game in Poland, actually, from when she was younger. Yeah, I would be down to try that someday. I can only paint so much because of my GIMP hand, but eventually I'd love to play all these games. So it's going to be Tomb Kings. Okay, Tomb Kings versus Norska is an interesting matchup. There's a couple ways to go about it for Tomb Kings. Basically, you can go fisticuffs if you want. You can just bring anti-large, Cetra, Necrosphinx, and just see who can get the better engagements. Or you can kind of do more of a defensive build with like Ushabti Great Bow and just have like some defensive anti-large units like Tomb Princes on horseback. There's a multitude of ways to do this for both armies. Like Zero can spam trolls if he wants to and just like roast the infantry and let the trolls pound the constructs. There are so many ways that both players can play this matchup. It's actually a really fun one. I like this one quite a bit. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. We will see how it goes. Probably, I played against Norska in a tournament recently when I was playing Tomb Kings, and I used the Ushabti Great Bows. And I had some like Tomb Scorpions and things like that, but I found that just, I don't know, I guess it depends on what Norska brings, but it was hard to defend against the Norskan Rush for sure. I think just going fisticuffs with them probably is a little bit safer. Maybe just going with like Cetra, Necrosphinx, you know, and then a multitude of like Nehekar Horsemen and other supporting elements is probably stronger, but that's just very anecdotal. What's up, Baron? Hope you're doing well. I like Throg. I think Throg is quite good against Tomb Kings, actually. A lot of people use Wulfric just because of how good Hunter of Champions is, but I'm a huge fan of Throg. Like, I like to surprise people with him occasionally against the Tomb Kings here. Regeneration, Anti-Large, Frostbite, like, he has a lot of good tools against Constructs. He can beat down Tomb Scorpions pretty well. Garland Green, thank you for the 100 SEK. Hot damn, brother. Thank you so much, man. Very generous. I don't see a message, but it's all good, man. Let me see if maybe it appeared in Streamlabs or something, but really appreciate the donation. Really do appreciate it. No, we're all good, man. Do Chosen of the Gods do fire with shots? I don't remember. I don't think so. They just have like a spread fire. So basically the arrow shaft like splits into a multitude of like small targets before. Yeah, then they come down. Throg is good. He's just overshadowed a little bit by Wulfric because of how good the Wulfric's pirate ship is. The Seafang, or I think that's what it's called, as well as Hunter of Champions. Yeah, Norska is really good at buzzsawing through infantry. Like, your Tomb Guard won't hold very long. Oftentimes, there's, like, Burning Head or a Pendulum to just methodically go through your infantry. Fair enough, Garland. Fair enough. Yeah. Typically, if you want to practice micro, Mr. Gallahan, like you say, you want to practice against players. Because computers, like, playing against computers is like almost like a different game in a way, because like they are, you know, omnipresent with their micro. They react to like everything, so like you can't like force mistakes as easily. I mean, their decisions are still stupid, so it's easy to beat the AI just by like gaming the system a little bit, but like they're predictable. But yeah, like practicing, if you want to get better at multiplayer, you're not gonna, other than like learning abilities and like basic movements, you're gonna not get that much out of just fighting AI, in my opinion. 2 Halberd Knights and 2 Great Bows are a must here. Oh, blind. It's not. That's a fair point. It's certainly a build that can work. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. I'm not a huge fan of Halberd Knights, to be honest, because like they have trouble keeping pace with single entities. Like good single entity control, they can like kind of weave through infantry, and the Halberd Knights can't chase, whereas like something like a Necrosphinx can. Yeah, it's hard to say though. I mean, they're certainly not terrible. They have poison. They have anti-large. Oh, it's Throg, the Troll Toll. Yes, the hero of the people. Somebody in chat was like, oh, why do we never see Throg? And then he just appears like a absolute maverick here. So let's take a look at the army of Zero. So for the front line, it's going to be Marauders, Berserkers as well. Berserkers are basically just an insurance to cut through Tomb Guard. He's got 2 of those. Throg Daddy, Anti-Large, Armor Piercing, Frostbite. Certainly a lot of good things he brings to the table here. And it looks like a familiar Balefiend with fire. So Fireball, again, not bad at like sniping out Tomb King's Lords occasionally. And Burning Head and Flaming Sword. Now at the back, it looks like Zero coming in with Marauder Horsemen, Beast of Tashnar, and a bunch of Famir as well. So Famir, very good against constructs as well, especially with great weapons. They do have that anti-large, and the Miststalkers are just a powerful unit in general, with solid missile resist against Ushabti, Skeleton Archers, and Armor Sundering as well. Great build. Love it. Now for the Force of Tomb Kings, I'm really curious about this. I've been trying to main Tomb Kings lately, just like make them one of my better factions in competitive play, so I'm really eager to see how he deals with this, and if it works. Skeleton Spearmen in the front, Kepra Guard, Tomb Guard, so a relatively elite front line. I mean, a couple Tomb Guard mixed in with Skeletons, a lot of Archers, so the Blessed Legion of Demonetization. He really needs to make sure that these Archers don't just get Burning Skulled in like one swift volley. That would be pretty bad. He does also have Cetra the Imperishable, some Spears, Nehekara Horsemen, 2 groups of Carrion, and also Eyes of the Desert. I actually like these guys. They have anti-large halberds. good AP values. They can kind of sneak up on your opponent because they have stock. So like people will pressure your back line not knowing they're back there. And then they come in and just like karate chop something, which is very, very good. So that's pretty much it. I like this army. A little bit light on the anti-large for sure. I mean, but he does, again, have all these skeleton archers. So if they can stay optimal and keep firing. And Cetra, of course, with the Cursed Blades overcast. Oh, he doesn't have that. But typically, Cetra can give himself a bonus versus large if he wants to. And the Carrion are a very good tool at chasing down like horsemen and dealing with like dog harass and all that sort of stuff. So we'll see how it goes. Good luck. Have fun, guys. So the winner of this will be going on to the grand finals. And we'll see how it goes. Mr. Adventurer, this is the first best of 3 here in the finals of today's Open. Welcome to the stream. So here come the Norskins. We'll see how it goes. I'm actually a fan of bringing Marcus Wolfhart to answer your question against the Tomb Kings. I feel like he's pretty good. Like good AP values. Nets, of course, are very, very nice against single entities, constructs, any sort of pressure. Certainly not bad. So Norska is going to be advancing here. Just going through the tree line, looking for a comfy approach. Tomb Kings don't have any great bows. But yeah, the skeleton thing is interesting. Like normally great bows are just such a consistent, solid unit. But the skeleton archers are much better against like infantry, right? So if you're facing off against berserkers and targets like that, they're going to be able to do a lot of work. Plus they also have dual application against the constructs because of the Blessed Legion. So perhaps he's onto something here. Very eager to see if this build is functional and if it works. We'll certainly find out. So Eyes of the Desert lurking on the flanks here. Going to be a little bit, I'm surprised he's not like a little bit further back with him. Carrying up ahead. Going to be looking in the forest, seeing what lies beyond the Norscan barrier. Is that fireball going after the Carrion? No. I was like, whoa, he's shooting a fireball at the Carrion, but it looks like he's going after Cetra. Is Randomix going to be able to juke it? It's pretty hard to juke it with Cetra. It just hits him right in the face. Fireballs don't do a ton of damage against big armor, but like Cetra is a hard thing to kill. So like any slow incremental damage you can get over the course of the battle is going to be substantial. So Carrion flying overhead. Norskins are going to be pausing in the tree line for a moment to gather their forces as they do flank out here on the far side with these Marauder horsemen with throwing axes. So here they come. Eyes of the Desert looking to maybe intercept, but the eyes aren't going to be great against the horsemen. Yes, they have more range, but nonetheless, the horsemen can close that distance very quickly and get good, cost-effective AP values against the Eyes of the Desert. But I actually really like these guys. I feel like they're quite underrated, and people don't use them terribly often. So it looks like there's going to be some sort of witchcraft here. I saw something from the Norskins. It looks like maybe another fireball coming out. Burning Head, of course, is on probably not the best thing to use here, but yeah, fireball's going to be going after Capricard. Here it comes. Let's see the damage. 90 models. And that was pretty good. Yeah, taking out 12 models. I mean, it might not look like a lot just looking at their HP, but 12 models off Kepragard, who of course can regenerate models, is really, really good. So Norska is going to be coming out here, it looks like, and the Marauder Horsemen here are going to be doing some skirmishing, and this is a pretty nice little situation here for the Tomb Kings. They do have this like nice little lip here that kind of denies the flank, but Norska also has a forest to hide in initially to gather their bearings, so it's back and forth for both players. So the Blessed Legion is going to be opening up, and that's pretty much going to force the hand of Zero. At this point, he has to move. Honestly, probably grabbing all the archers and just shrekking, the Brutes of the Hound would be pretty good. Certainly would go down very quickly. I'd probably put like 2 or 3 archers on them and then the other 2 into the Famir. The Famir really need to be dealt with for sure because they're going to be very solid against like Cetra. And Burning Head play is going to be very big this game as well. Tomb Guard should be able to beat Marauders as well, so I guess if you could shut down the Berserkers, you're going to have an okay time in the Infantry Fight. So the Brutes of the Hound have engaged in the front line, taking a lot of shots, but they'll certainly make Khorne happy. And these Skeleton Warriors, like, heavily outmatched. It's like 300 gold versus like 1,000,000 gold as far as the trade goes. In the back, look at this. Randomix is actually going to be getting his Carrion and swarming the Famir Balefiend. Not sure about that. I'd probably use the Carrion. Balefiends are very, very tanky. I'd probably use the birds to go over here for this fight, but it looks like we do have a flank fight. Oh no! Really, really disastrous situation here for Zero as he takes the engagement against the Eyes of the Desert, but the Nakar Horsemen come out of nowhere with a steel chair, and that's a huge loss. Like, losing those units for Norska, very, very punishing. Like, that mobility is very important in the back line here. But a really nice Burning Head here going down. It looks like Randomix is able to kind of dodge it with one group and only takes very topical damage, so far, Randomix seems to be in a bit more of a commanding position as he has gotten a good pick here on the flanks, and his archer play has been quite solid. But again, it's only a matter of time before Norska does get into the back line and make you pay the troll toll. So here they come. You can see these guys just pushing straight through those Nakar Warriors, the Kepra Guard here in the front. Archers are falling back, but Berserkers, of course, doing a pretty good job cutting through these troops. But I don't know, guys. It's looking pretty good for the Tomb Kings. I mean, you can see Cetra is in good health here. Where's Throg? Where is Throg? What is he even doing? Where are you, Throg? He's over here just fighting some archers. See, this is a bit of a... Yeah, Throg should be, like, hunting down Cetra for sure, applying a Frostbite. And it looks like there might be some more Witchcraft going down from the Famir Balefiend. I'm not sure what's going to be happening here, but a good Burning Skull, of course, could help equalize this game. Of course, losing those mobile units for Norska, very, very rough. And you can see, oh, they've actually come back a little bit. So some of them are here. Eyes of the Desert, as far as kills go, up to 24 kills against Horsemen, not bad. Yeah, the Famir actually getting buckled off by the Archer play. Look at this. Blessed Legion shooting in there, other troops shooting in there, Skeletons holding them in place. And now Throg has finally found his home. He's going to be going after Setra the Imperishable here, which is a very good choice. Narrow's Incantation of Protection, giving him 44% physical resist. Going to be very nice against Throg. But oh, a big burning head's coming down. This could be huge. It's going to be going into the King Nikesh's Scorpion Legion Kepler Guard. It does really good damage actually against those troops here, but not like game breaking for sure. It seemed like the cast was just like slightly off kilter. So Throg's trying to deal with Setra, but Setra, of course, going to be able to fight back very effectively. Ushabti Summon coming down as well, so it looks like Randomix here going to be pouring a lot of resources into this fight, as in the back, uses Carrion and Horseman to chase off Famir. That is really good. Famir don't have the best leadership, so anytime you can break them, chase them off with anything, it's going to be just a value train. Their leadership base, I think, is like 65, give or take. So, Tomb King's still holding pretty firm. It looks like the Bale Fiend's like fully surrounded here. Going to be casting a fireball right in the face of the Kepler Guard, just kind of a desperation cast there. And it looks like the Tomb Kings are pulling ahead here in this battle, as Throg, in a vacuum, obviously would be able to put up a good fight against Setra, but yeah, in this situation, I mean, just so outnumbered, it's going to be hard. And you can see Usex's Incantation of Desiccation. Oh man, I just mangled that like 3 times in a row. Negative 26 melee defense and negative 27 melee attack. Very, very good stuff there. Going to make the duel much easier for Setra. But guys, it's looking like it's going to be a pretty decisive victory here for the Tomb Kings, as the Skeleton Bone Daddy Archers were able to just take apart those Miststalkers. But really that big catch on the flank was super impactful too, because Zero had some pretty good tools for getting into the back line with his Horsemen and his Doggos and stuff like that, but they just weren't able to really get where they wanted to go. Granted, here in the late game, the Beasts of Tashnar do finally engage on some Skeleton Archers, but it's too little too late, as the Troll King is going to be serving Setra. So, well played. And guys, with that, Randomix is going to win the series 2-1, and he's going to be moving on to the Grand Finals to face the winner of Imperator and Flying Taco. Very well played. Very, very well played. So let's go ahead and update the scoreboard here. That's a 2-1 victory for him. And well played, and we'll see him in the finals. Both of you. You in finals random. Okay, soon. All right, cool. So, well played to him. We're going to make room. So now, Flying Taco and Imperator, if you guys are watching. Cool. So, let's go ahead and update the scoreboards here. We'll see who joins first. And they will update challenge. Setra ruled pretty hard that game. He ruled pretty hard. It did Optimus Pine, but those archers paid their dues, and he avoided the burning skulls and was able to keep his backline safe from the Norscan pressure, and that's going to make those archers very, very strong. The Bony Giant boys. Bone Giants could be good. Funky Koval says, Turin, have you ever seen any PvP battles with Wolfheart since you... Yeah, I use him all the time, even after nerfs. He's very, very good. So now we need to get Flying Taco. So let me go ahead and tag those guys. At Flying Taco and Imperator. You're up. Cool. So we got the Flying Taco in the game. So we'll go ahead and update the scoreboard here. Oh my god, can you guys hear that? Wookiee's snoring back here, just like an absolute beast. Little Poochie. And then, now we know Imperator could be on this side. If I start putting like clan tags, it's just gonna be filled up, bleeding over the side here. Alright, so updating the scoreboard. I need to get like an app that's like more efficient for updating the scoreboard so I don't have to like manually click. Alrighty, just giving him the password. So the winner of this will be going on to face Randomix here. More FFA? Yeah, maybe I'll do an FFA. Yeah. Are Free Company Militia viable in any matchups? Yeah, they're pretty good in some. I think they're good against like Vampire Coast as like a kind of a pressure unit. Not bad against like Vampire Counts. You know, they have a couple places. Like basically, if you're worried about your gun line being shut down by like summons or things like that, they're pretty good because they're a scrappy unit. All right, so hey, start picks and bans and showtime. Who made the UI elements? Lady Turin did. Yeah, like the banners and stuff. Yeah, she made all those. She's quite savvy. She is quite savvy indeed. I think High Elf Spearmen. Yeah, High Elf Spearmen are very cost effective. Cool. Imperator is saying he doesn't have too much time, so we'll see if he's able to finish, hopefully. We will see. We'll keep it rolling. We'll keep it going strong. So they're doing their picks and bans, map set. So Flying Taco's picking Tomb Kings and he's banning Vampire Counts. Interesting. And Chaos. So we'll see what Imperator picks. I think Imperator will come in with a Empire pick. Maybe he'll pick Northskin. We'll just see that same matchup over again, which would be very interesting, actually. Yeah, the ROR Free Company for the Empire are good, too. They have stock. They have good AP values. Pretty cost-effective. The Hidden Spider FFA. Yeah, that was a good one. That was a classic. I am lucky, Jake C. Wolf. Correct. Is Winds of Death viable in multiplayer? Not really. It's too expensive. And when you cast a Winds of Death, and if it doesn't generate like huge value, you're basically neutering yourself in regards to having enough Winds of Magic to cast like Invocations and Raise Deads, which are just pretty much guaranteed value. Yeah. Hopefully that answers your question, my dude. Imperator going Bretonia against Tomb Kings. That's a bold strategy. In my opinion, I think Tomb Kings have an advantage here. Granted, some of these tournament guys might have a different opinion, but I've always felt that way. Yeah, Mole Spaghetti, it's not necessarily about High Elf Spearmen losing, like in a duelist situation. It's more that, like, for what you're paying, they hold very well and allow your other things in the army to do the killing. They're not, like, obviously, like a duelist unit, right? Winds of Death is kind of overshadowed by Invocation and Raise Dead. Yeah, for sure. And Winds of Death is really expensive. It's like 22 Winds of Magic. It's like, if you want to use Winds of Death, though, in multiplayer, you pretty much have to bring Manfred and use power of the Master of the Black Arts plus the Sword of Unholy Power. Yeah. Squires. All Cav Bretonia has an advantage. I don't know about that. I feel like Tomb Kings have some really good anti-Cav units. Yeah, we'll see though. 60-40 for Tomb Kings, says El Halcon in chat, who is a Bretonian main, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I would say it's an advantage for Tomb Kings, but it's not like, I mean, it's still winnable for Bretonia. It's just a little bit harder, I think. TBH, I was hoping for Marcus Wolfhard, but Bretonia, I mean, you can never complain about a Bretonian pick. Come on. Rain Roth, looking forward to the Ogre Kingdom's magic. Oh my god, yeah. I don't know how they're going to be implemented. That's going to be wild as hell. Yeah, it's going to be pretty hog wild. So Flying Taco is ready. Imperator getting his army ready as well. Of course, Bretonia. It's got to... I wonder if he's going to... You know what I really like in this matchup is actually using Alberic with Royal Hippogriff Knights. Because it gives those like huge armor-piercing flying beasts a bonus for large with his trident. And then you can actually like really crush a lot of constructs pretty quick. There's some cool strategies Bretonia has here for sure. In before Gotrek Steel Chair. You know what? That is a thing. Gotrek could come in. It's a little bit tricky though. Sometimes Gotrek just gets like tar pitted by a bunch of skeletons in this matchup. Bretonia has some ways of clearing chaff, but it's not like the most expeditious way. It's a little bit tough. Yeah, Imperator is a really good player. Like the last 2 times I played him on ladder, I was like, holy shit, this guy's good. Yeah, but so is Flying Taco. So we'll see how it goes. And Taco's also a Bretonian guy as well, so he probably has some idea of what's coming. Chaos Dwarves will be very cool. Yeah, man, so much to look forward to in the future of the Warhammer Total War. Like, so many factions and like, oh my god, Game 3. Just gonna have a full chub. This is kind of an interesting map. Like, it's literally one army like landing here on the shore. All right, so for the armies of Bretonia, skeleton warriors, skeleton spears in the front line. Honestly, against Bretonia, it's not really wise to bring like better infantry, I don't think. Granted, look at this. Bretonia's bringing in like foot squires. They're going hard. Looks like there's also going to be a fat boner giant in the back. 2 groups of Tomb Guard with halberds to deal with cav. Kara horsemen just to be a tar pit. Big old necrosphinx as well. Anti-large armor piercing and Cetra. That's pretty scary for sure. I mean, Cetra plus the Sphinx are going to be very difficult for Bretonia to take out. But again, certainly possible. I mean, some of the big Bretonian lords do hit very hard. So for the ground forces of Bretonia, it's going to be a combination of battle pilgrims, foot squires, peasants with a grail. Oh, there's a grail here as well to keep those foot squires going. So, you know what? This Bretonian army probably will cleave through those skeletons pretty quickly based on his investment in foot squires and battle pilgrims, especially the Holy Wardens, leaving the constructs to maybe just be swarmed and tar pitted by a grailed up horde. We'll see. On top of that, it looks like it's going to be questing knights, and the same thing on the other side, which is quite good with Alberic if you do have the Trident. So Alberic has an item, for anyone who doesn't know. Let's go and take a look here. So it does give leadership and bonus first large to nearby troops. So suddenly your questing knights are anti-large armor piercing cav, which again, very good against Tomb Kings. So if you can clear out the chaff and the Tomb Kings can't hide on top of that, certainly could be in good shape. But the Bone Giant's going to be, you know, making them pay a toll. I wonder where it's going to go first. I feel like the Bone Giant might actually just get a little bit ham and go after the Grail. It could try and snipe the Damsel. Like, if the Damsel doesn't micro and move, it could be a little bit troublesome. Let's roll. Here they go. So Imperator going to be surging forward with his Foot Squire Blob. Bone Giant shooting in as well. Oh, and just slapping Alberic right in the face. A little bit slow on the draw there, and it looks like Alberic... I mean, that... I don't know who could dodge that. That's really tough. So now you can see the attack order has been given by Taco. Looks like the Bone Giant was going to be shooting maybe at the Damsel, but no, then he switched again over to the Knights, it looks like. So he's going to be going after the Questing Knights. So Bretonia coming in with a pretty aggressive infantry force, like elite Bretonian infantry here. This is very, very interesting. I'm quite curious how this is going to work. So the Bone Giant picking off 4 Questing Knights with 1 volley. Nehekara Horsemen basically just in the wings. And Nehekara Horsemen, I think, are faster than Questing Knights. 75 speed, 78, slightly faster, but yeah, they're pretty much going to meet their doom if they get caught out there. So I like that he's kind of keeping these cav out here as like a distraction, because these Questing Knights, you know, going to be chasing them rather than kind of pressuring the other assets here in the army. Questing Knights again taking another Bone Giant shot. Looks like the Bretonian horde is going to be getting about face, getting ready to push in here. So here come the Foot Squires, here come the peasant mobs. It's going to be a good time. It's like, it's kind of a minuscule hill. I mean, a little bit, but it's not. Like, maybe if the Tomb Kings were up on, like, this hill, it would be an advantage, but based on the circumstances of who was on what side, it didn't really end up mattering. So I actually thought it was a different map when I picked it. There's, like, a couple of these, like, the inland, like, coast maps or whatever, and some of them are better than others. Anyways, over here, it looks like Imperator is able to get a free pick with these Nehekara Horsemen, and it looks like the Tomb Kings realizing that the Bretonians have a lot of stuff over here, just kind of you know, getting a freebie, of course, are going to be trying to push the issue and fight while, you know, the supporting elements like the Questing Knights and other guys are basically just idle here. So we lost 1 group of the Horsemen, but as far as like the damage the Bone Giant's done, it has kind of like made that kind of value back as well. These Nehekara Horsemen going to be charging into some of these spears here, it looks like, and Cetra's going in pretty hard. The Sphinx, and yeah, this Foot Squire line certainly going to be having some problems for sure without Alberic and the supporting anti-large elements. So Nehekara Horsemen pushing in. Bone Giant probably going to be turning soon and shooting, but so far really good picks here by Imperator. He's been able to get some of the horsemen down, and Flying Taco definitely needs to get these guys back, man, because they're not cheap. I mean, 650 is still something. Nonetheless, Tomb Kings are going to be jumping into the front line, hammering into the Questing Knights and some of the Foot Squires. Cetra going pretty hard for sure, but that's a lot of elite infantry to deal with, and the Bone Giant looks like it's going to be turning. I wonder what it's going to shoot. You can see here, Questing Knights and Foot Squires have engaged here against Skeleton Warriors, and yeah, you know, this Tomb King's line is going to break pretty quick against the Bretonian Foot Squires. Foot Squires do have a bonus versus infantry, and of course will be mitigating, you know, any of the armor they have really with that bonus versus infantry. So Foot Squires have engaged here against Skeleton Boys in the front line. Cetra and company just hog wilds in the back, going after some of these Questing Knights and things like that, but a little bit kind of entrenched in spears. Perhaps not the most effective situation for them, and it's only a matter of time before Bretonia does get in here. I mean, Questing Knights are in okay shape. 29 here, it looks like 45 over here. We have 32 right there, so there's certainly a lot of those guys still kind of lurking around here. And Alberic going in against the Bone Giant, certainly not a bad idea. Bone Giant doesn't have the best melee defense. I believe it's like 20 or something, 25. Some of the Halberds are going to be surging in for Flying Taco, but Imperator needs to be careful. If Cetra or the Sphinx comes back here, they could certainly start beating down Alberic pretty effectively. I mean, Alberic is good against large targets, but he's also not the tankiest of lads himself. He only has 35 melee defense, so he's more about like cycle charging and support than like King Luin, who's a little bit more durable with like self-healing. Questing Knight's going to be coming through that pocket right there. It looks like the Bone Giant in guard mode, which if you put a missile unit in guard mode, even if it's being attacked, it'll still try and carry out its most recent order. And basically it's just a frontline, big old grind here in the front line. The Bretonnian's holding very firm though because of this Grail. Normally like having these big terror-causing monsters in your front line would mean like mass terror routes and a bunch of issues like that, but of course the big Tomb King's beasties, yeah, not able to terror out them because of the Grail. The Grail's just doing some serious work. So the Halberds also MVPs back here. They're able to fend off Alberic. Alberic actually takes some substantial damage. Now the Holy Wardens are in the back line, and Holy Wardens have really good leadership as well. They're not going to be great against constructs, obviously, but if they're able to get their paws on top of the Halberds, they'll get a ton of kills. They have really good melee attack. The fire damage is somewhat pertinent. I mean, it does give them a little bit of extra kicking, etc. Not terribly substantial, though, because, again, they lack the AP. But the Questing Knight core is still in good shape, and that's a bit of an issue for Flying Taco as this game does go on. Because if he does run out of skeletons and supporting chaff on the ground and the Bretonnian Haggard Horde is able to just cleave through all your stuff, you know, then the Questing Knights are going to be able to surround the constructs and kill them. So right here, it looks like Flying Taco, realizing he needs to get some terror routes and things like that, is going to be going after the Grail, perhaps. Certainly wouldn't be a bad idea, for sure. And the back Questing Knight surging in once again, and they are able to shut down some of the Nehekar Horsemen, and it also looks like the Damsel of Life is going to be Tokyo drifting around this flank trying to get a good engagement. So Alberic going for the fight here. And what's really cool is suddenly all these Holy Wardens do have a bonus first large. So when they make contact with, they're going to be more efficient essentially against Cetra, which is very, very neat. Man, I love that item on Alberic. I feel like it's super underrated. So right here, it looks like there's going to be a big old spell going down. Not sure what that's going to be. Oh, it's going to be the Desiccation. So Usef's Incantation of Desiccation, lowering the stats of all these troops here. And the Ushabti summon is being summoned as well. So Flying Taco realizing if he takes care of the Grail, suddenly all these Bretonnian troops like the Foot Squires and the Battle Pilgrims and Peasant Mobs aren't going to be immune to psychology. Battle Pilgrims do have immunity to psych while their frenzy's active, but once it's broken, they still can be routed off just like anyone else. Oh no, Imperator actually getting trapped in the middle. Alberic just getting sucker punched here by the Bone Giant, and the big old Necro Sphinx comes in. Oh no, he could lose the game here. Oh man, Alberic, you need to escape, buddy. And I don't think he's going to. Looks like Cetra and the Sphinx, he's like trapped in by his own knights. Oh, but Alberic just barely gets away. Only 400 HP though, but he'll come back, and there is a Damsel of Life, so that was like a situation where the game was almost lost right there. Like, the fact that Alberic got this regrowth and like that's substantial. Because now it's like a game that the Bretonnians could still, you know, do well in. Because if Alberic comes back and provides a bonus first large to all the stuff against the constructs here, that's going to be really good. But like had he died, like all the stuff would kind of be on its own. And you can see the Questing Knights are being focused down. But now it's just like a rabble of filthy Bretonnians just going against these constructs, which could work, guys. This is crazy. So Taco really needs to make sure to kill that Grail because all of these guys are immune to psychology because of that thing. And that's like going to keep them fighting to the bitter end. Alberic, in the meantime, with his caster and his anti-large Questing Knights here, are going to be going after the Bone Giant, who is taking some heavy damage for sure, but Alberic needs to be careful. I mean, he remembers last time how this went, and he does take a huge blow as he does retreat there, but Alberic is able to get back. So again, keeping Alberic for encouragement purposes, leadership purposes, and for that bonus first large, I think is more valuable than him like diving in and fighting, because any like slip up against these big daddies, and he's going to be in a very, very bad situation. So you can see here Alberic getting another heal. Looks like no, Foeseeker's just active. Got 124 speed. And now the Bretonnians surge forward and let the grind begin. You can see the Grail just kind of slip it in there. Taco needs to get that thing, man. It's got 1,000 HP. Cetra could probably kill it pretty quick. The Grail is actually a large entity, so using the Necro Sphinx to kill it would be a little bit more effective. But the Bone Giant, probably just put it in guard mode and have it take pot shots, I think, at the Damsel or either at Alberic, and it looks like it's going to be shooting point blank into a Peasant Mob, which probably not the most useful way. Yeah, and now you can see the Sphinx is going to be coming up and around, and it looks like he's going to be going after the Grail for sure, which is like a must. If you take out that Grail, the peasants will start mass routing for sure. They fight as long as, you know, they're motivated, but when they see their fallen comrade here go down, the Bretonnian Knight of old, it's going to be pretty bad. So the Grail here is -14, -1, and it looks like it's going to be going down here. It must have like no HP left. One more attack. Taco does need to make sure to spam click it, because sometimes if there's like a mob of units, he'll just switch on to like the next target and things like that. So here it comes, and down goes the Grail. So suddenly, guys, we have a very different game on our hands. Now all these peasant mobs, these spearmen at arms, just these cheap haggard units are not going to have immune to psych, and it could be a very, very different game. Granted, the Bone Giant's going down, Questing Knight's getting a really good surround, and I mean, it's still a morass of bodies here. And I don't know, they might not all get terror routed at once. Questing Knights, I don't believe they're immune to psychology. Oh, they actually are. That's interesting. Is it because of an item or something? Or Questing Knight's just immune to psychology in general? That's something I didn't notice. I don't play Bretonnia as often as I used to, so got to refresh on my knowledge of those guys. So there are some Tomb Guards with halberds fighting. The thing being, though, is if he does run out of the Tomb Guards, and the only thing that Taco has left in combat are single entities, he basically has to stay engaged in this blob here, which is fine. I mean, that's what he's going to be doing anyways, I would imagine. And this is just such a haggard, grindy fight. Oh my god. And I think Tomb Kings probably will pull this out. Like, the Bretonians are doing their thing, but without that bonus first large, I mean, Alberic, look at this. Foot Squires now have a bonus first large. So the Foot Squires are going to be super effective compared to how it normally would be against, like, the Sphinx and against, you know, the Bone Giant in the back here. Alberic has learned his lesson, like, every time he lands. Oh, but the Bone Giant blasts Alberic in the face with a guard mode shot, and Alberic's wavering. And the bounce of power is going in the favor of the Tomb Kings, and it's looking like it's going to be a bit of a downward spiral, as, like, the Bretonians are now without... I love that Grail build, though. That was so gangster. Like, keeping that horde fighting. And, I mean, this is it's still anyone's game, I suppose. Yeah, look at this. The Tomb King's, like, standing back to back, like, just fighting. Like, oh, God, there's peasants everywhere. They're like swatting flies here. Oh, my God. And you can see here the Foot Squire surging in as well. Oh, but the curse going down is going to be pretty painful for sure. That's going to hit everything. So, Cetra's curse has gone off, doing substantial AoE damage against all the peasant mobs and all these guys. And, yeah, you can see terror routes going down here on the Spearmen at Arms. Questing Knights are getting very, very low as well. Damsel's coming back in. Up in the sky, Alberic just cackling, being a Bretonian as he does. And it looks like the Bone Giant's trying to draw line of sight and shoot at Alberic, but what Imperator is doing, which is really good, is he's like flying back and forth and kind of juking it a little bit, which is very, very impressive for sure. So Cetra the Imperishable still going pretty strong. Bone Giant's getting a little bit low. Bretonians are in a bit of a mass exodus here, as it looks like Flying Taco probably going to be taking this first game in a truly interesting showdown. But that bonus first large Foot Squires are able to actually chop down that Bone Giant to the point of crumbling, which normally they would barely scratch it, because their melee attack is so damn low without that bonus first infantry. I mean, at this point, I guess just sending in Alberic to try and goon out Cetra probably is your best bet, because, like, it's slowly ebbing out of your favor. Granted, I don't know, maybe the Bretonian attrition can come back. Earthblood there is very, very nice. Foot Squires, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's not time for that yet, but, like, oh man, guys, the bounce is going back towards the middle, as the Bretonians are rallying to their Duke. Alberic. I always love to say king, but yeah, the curse is quite good. But guys, the Bone Giant's gonna go down here. It's at negative 47. This bad boy is not having a good time. Bonus first large Foot Squire meta, apparently. The Bone Giant here is disintegrating, and down it goes. Guys, we got a game on our hands. We have a battle. Oh, but the Bretonians with another rout. The Foot Squires run after they get a triumphant victory. And it looks like the big old Sphinx here is going to be going after the damsel. And then, yeah, this is the time for Alberic. He has to make a name for himself. Narrow's Incantation of Protection going down. Alberic does come in. Now, Alberic can cycle charge, of course. Foot Squires are coming back in. Oh my god. This game is just absolute lunacy. And it looks like the Necrosphinx is going to be going after the damsel, perhaps? Yeah, Cetra's going to be in combat here. Just going after these squires. Hold, men of the West! Yeah, the Grails, nothing's giving them... I think Questing Knights just have a base immune to psychology. These troops here are not immune to psychology, these Foot Squires. And if they break one more time, it could be a little bit problematic. But yeah, getting the damsel to go after these guys, I like what he's doing. Imperator's like riding in circles, basically, just like teasing him to try and like pull him away from fighting. These guys are getting kind of low. 18 leadership here. Cetra's in pretty good shape. Cetra's going to be hard, but if Alberic can get those like juicy charges... Oh, and here it comes. Is Cetra going to get the punch in? Who's going to do it? So Cetra goes, and oh, Cetra gets the big blow on Alberic before he can escape. That's pretty substantial, guys. Bounce of Power is pulling... Look at that. The troop count is 2 against 156. These Bretonians, I'm really surprised at how long they're holding. They're going in for the king here. For Lewin or the lady, whatever else you want to say. I mean, Alberic, I guess, in this case. Foe Seeker up in the sky. Oh, here he comes. Alberic, is he going to be able to pull this out? Oh, but he feigns it. Look at that. Nice. So he charged in, like, trying to get Taco to react to it. And the damsel's hitting him as well, but yeah, the damsel just gets chopped right there. And the big old Necrosphinx comes in, and it looks like the Foot Squires are going to buckle. Yeah, Alberic, you got to go now. It's now or never, buddy. Because the Bretonians they're at their wits' end. Yeah, and it looks like that's going to be game. Man, you know, maybe had he committed Alberic and gotten a couple good blows, maybe he could have won that. I think at this point, it's not 100% over, is it? Yeah, it probably is. If Alberic can like miraculously just kill Cetra and then get back and rally his forces, he might be able to deal with the Sphinx as well. But it looks like Alberic is going to be wavering due to army losses. And that's going to be game 1 for Flying Taco. Oh my god. The peasants with anti-large. I know, they can beat infantry and they can beat constructs. It's crazy. That was a really close game. Oh my goodness. Like, that was like a nail biter. A little bit grindy at the end, but I actually like those kind of matches. Gives you a chance to just relax and enjoy the scenery. And let's go ahead and update this. Flying Chaco going to go up 1-0 here. And I know he's in a bit of a hurry, so we'll try and set up the next game. Do Central Chaos Waste. It's a best of 3, so we'll see what they pick next. Yeah. Well, the thing is, the Taco can change targets. He basically just has to like stay in combat there. Because like the thing is like he couldn't like run away like from the combat. And like if somebody's like charging you or like bringing something close, like you can go after it. He just can't disengage for cycle charging. Yeah, Aeroclastic articulated it quite well. Hey Navi, what's up, man? We're in the second semifinal here of today's Open tournament between Flying Taco and Imperator. Really good game, and we had some great games in the first match as well. So if you're looking to go back, we had dwarf games, we had all kinds of stuff. It was fun. Yeah. Well, the thing is like Questing Knights honestly are pretty good against constructs, even without the bonus versus large. They have like good melee attack and good AP, so I do think Questing Knights are the way to go. It just came down to a couple things. You know, really, you know, there was one moment when Imperator got his Alberic trapped and like lost like 80% of his HP. Really, like that moment probably lost him the game. Like, had that not happened, I think Imperator would have won. It was just that one moment. It was just that one moment. So Imperator is picking Lizardmen and he's banning Dwarves and Skaven. And Flying Taco is going to go Norska. Cool. There's like no elves today. No elves whatsoever. Peasants need an aura, stench of poverty. The best one I heard about Flying Dutchman was when somebody said peasant mobs needed the hunger. Alrighty. We had a donation I missed from Austin Harath. My apologies for missing this earlier, man. He said, "Ride the lightning, Cackles, and Palpatine." Yeah, he's here. He's here. Palpatine's always with us in our hearts and souls. Yeah, that's a fair analysis, Amco. So yeah, it's going to be Norska versus Lizards. We'll see how this goes. Is the Taco going to be going to the grand finale? Perhaps so. If his micro's on point. You're not going to see Meme Gore today, probably. Not in the finals here. Like, maybe you would have seen a Meme Gore earlier in the tournament, but at this point, it's going to be tricky. Hope we get a Monster Mash from both sides. It probably will be, to be honest. Granted, Imperator could bring in, like, a very strange build and, you know, come in with, like, Razordons or Salamanders and, like, a Kite build. Like, the Lizards have a pretty diverse style of play. But really, I think the safer play is just, like, going for fisticuffs and hoping that you can out-micro your opponent. Yeah, the Dwarf game was really good, Bearwake. It was really good earlier. We have a Skaven Warlord in chat as well. Oh no. Schemes, yes, yes. Unlimited Warhammer. Oh yeah, I had a brutal game of 40k yesterday. I went in and you guys probably, anyone who plays 40k knows how like overpowered Space Marines and Iron Hands are right now, but Iron Hands are the worst of all of them. Oh my god. The amount of like rules Iron Hands have is just insane. So I played my Chaos against Iron Hands, and we put up an okay fight, but man, just like, they're so freaking good. It's like, I almost felt like there was nothing I could do. Like, to like win, there was like ways I could get points, but just like actually winning, it's just like, they get free rerolls and everything, and just like, yeah, so many good stratagems. Frostworm time. Frostworms aren't bad in monster matches because of the frostbite and isolation potential, but let's take a look here at the armies of Flying Taco. So he's currently up a game here. He's got Marauders in the front, Berserkers in the secondary, a couple Spears in the back, and it looks like a bunch of Javelins. So I really like Javelins against Dinos. They do lack AP, but nonetheless they have a bonus versus large, good range, and good arcs of fire. And honestly, it's enough. It can do a good enough damage there. He's got some Skin Wolves, the premier condom brand of the old world, and he does also have Miststalkers over here. And on the far side, he does have a Shaman Sorcerer of Metal with Plague of Rust to synergize with his Javelins and Glittering Robe to help Wulfric fight the big monster. So Wulfric, of course, Going to be good against infantry, but Wulfric's also a pretty good single entity duelist on his Mammoth because of Hunter of Champions. And yeah, it's got a good charge bonus. Certainly no joke. Love the build. So for Imperator, in the front line, it's going to be a combination of Temple Guard and Saurus Warriors, so they'll do pretty well against Norscan infantry, especially Marauders. Temple Guard, of course, pretty good against Berserkers because of their armor and things like that, but yeah, the bonus for Sarge quite nice. Imperator does also have Coldland Spear Riders, a Saurus Old Blood, a bunch of Happy Skinks, little Chameleon Skinks. They'll, that damage will add up. Wulfric only has 70 armor, so little annoying Skink Darts actually can do some good work. They're also very good against Skin Wolves, so I love it. And it looks like a Saurus Old Blood with the Horn of Kygor, and Heavens to just like blast down hordes of infantry. Great build by Imperator. Both players having a very, very solid army composition, in my opinion. Good luck, have fun. Good sportsmanship all around. That's what I like to see. And here we go. You asked for a monster mash and both players come in with like a skirmishing build. Well, yeah, Chameleons are really good. I mean, if Norsca comes in with Giants, Skin Wolves, Mammoths, they're good against all those targets, right? Also very good against Berserkers and lightly armored infantry. I think bringing Chameleons is very, very good, especially if they're backed up by Coldland Riders, because then if like Cav units try and chase down your Chameleons, you have those Cav units to back them up and fend off the doggies, which is always quite nice. So Skink's going to be shooting in, I would imagine, against Berserkers initially, so Flying Taco going to be taken a little bit in the face here, and it looks like there's going to be some glittering robe on those guys. Probably not worth the Winds of Magic. I think that was a bit of a, he kind of got baited into that there. I mean, yeah, it'll mitigate some of the damage coming in, but nonetheless, probably, in my opinion, not worth the Winds of Magic. But still, now he can move up with the Marauders and kind of screen out a little bit. He does, of course, have to take the advance because the Lizards do have the better kind of skirmishing core here. He can try and use his Javelins to skirmish with these guys, but it's not going to be super cost-effective. Chameleons do have a really nice missile resistive, I think 40%. Garrett Bailey, thank you so much for the $20 donation. Keep up the great work, man. Don't miss a stream or a video. Hell yeah, brother. Hopefully you're enjoying these open tournaments, and maybe we'll see you in one someday. Cheers again, man. Thank you for the donation. And here you can see Wulfric going to be taking a lot of shots, and like, look how much value these Skinks have accrued. They've baited out a magical spell. They've done substantial damage against Wulfric. They've done damage across the board to infantry. And this is only, it's like Malekith's face on his Skink. I've only just begun. Just in his Batman voice. Yeah, so just so much value from these guys. Norsca really needs to press the issue and like force the melee engagements, because this skirmishing is probably not going to work out too well for him. I guess if Marauders with shields are taking it, it's not going to be the worst thing in the world, but basically he just needs to make sure that Wulfric isn't going to be taking that pounding in the face, and the Skin Wolves and other targets like that don't take too much more damage. Wulfric still has his work cut out for him, you know. He has to fight a Saurus Old Blood, which of course is an amazing anti-large warrior here, and yeah, there's a couple hard fights. So Imperator just kind of kiting back a little bit using his Chameleons, and yeah, Norsca's on the hunt here. Marauders coming in, Wulfric coming in as well. No doggies or anything to really pressure. Like, usually if Norsca has like one or two group of Frost Wolves, they can force the issue, and like they could chase the Skinks and force a Cav fight and then follow up from there. But in this case, Norsca having to slow roll it. Granted, ammunition will eventually run out for the Skinks, so we'll see. I mean, yeah, if the ammo runs out, this is a pretty big investment here. They cost what, I think 600 something a piece. And as far as the infantry fight goes, how many Temple Guard do we have? It looks like 2 Temple Guard in total. So Norsca should be able to do pretty well against him with Wulfric. Wulfric with his Sea Fang and, of course, the Famir Berserker combo will be relatively efficient against the Temple Guard with a little bit of support. So Chameleon Skinks, just little bastards, doing a ton of damage so far. But Norsca just kind of on that slow roll, just that slow push here. Javelins going up here. You can see that there's Skin Wolves in the back just kind of sweeping about, just waiting for an opportunity to pounce. But Wulfric taking that damage isn't good. Oh, man. Taco, you need to get that back and just push up, really. Just force the issue. Norscan infantry are a little bit quicker, I think, than Lizards, so you should eventually kind of catch them or corner them. And here you can see Glittering Robe is going to be going down once again, but now he's not even being targeted. So looks like Wulfric might go forward. You could use him like, I've seen people use Wulfric as a bit of a bait. So basically you send him in, then you cast Final Transmutation on the blob that kind of attacks him. But in this case, there is no Final Transmutation, so I don't know how well that would actually work. So here they come. Little Skinks are doing their thing, shooting in, doing great work against Marauders. The first engagement is probably going to be underway here as the Skink cohorts with Javelins are, getting some nice pot shots. But Imperator with a really, really nice kind of initial kite here. You know, the Norsca didn't bring any anti-kite, so, you know, they deserve, in a way, to be punished for it here by these little Skinks here. Chameleon shooting in, going after Miststalkers, I think, but Miststalkers have pretty good missile resist as well. And now these Saurus are going to be coming forward. So it looks like the first engagement, main engagement here in the front line is going to be underway. But again, the Norscan front line having taken a lot of damage, I mean, across the board, it's like minor damage across the board. The Saurus should be able to just pound town these freaking Marauders like so hard. So here come the Marauders. They got their shields up, and yeah, they're going to be fighting Saurus, which is not going to be great for them. Saurus should be able to win that fight pretty handily here. And you can see that Flying Taco is going to be pulling them back, which is smart, and actually sending the Berserkers, who are healthy. Very, very good kind of a control here. Taco in the meantime as well, going to be surging in with Miststalkers and making a big conscious effort here to focus down the Temple Guard. and forming a bit of a flank denial. So realizing he can't like catch this stuff, instead of over pursuing, he's forming like a new screen here, which is great because it allows him to focus on these other areas without having to go too wild. Spearmen, Berserkers fighting Saurus. Berserkers should be pretty good against Saurus Warriors. And now Wolfric is just going to be mammoth stomping all over these Saurus here, getting some solid kills probably. Yeah, up to 7 kills after just 1 or 2 attacks there. Not bad at all. The other Temple Guard going to be getting pushed as well, but it looks like the Saurus Old Blood's looking for blood here. What could he use with the, the Javelins need to start focusing down that Saurus Old Blood for sure. Really, really nice Curse of the Midnight Wind going down there. Going to be lowering melee attack and armor of all these guys. You can see here the Marauders in the front line are buckling down. And now Hunter of Champions has been used here on the Saurus Old Blood, plus an overcasted Plague of Rust. And all the Javelins are going to be turning and actually going after, but it looks like Wolfric's kind of in the way. So some of the Javelins aren't making contact, which is a little bit unfortunate, but Lizards are also breaking through the front line, and they're getting a really nice surround here. Granted, a lot of the Lizard Cav just aren't doing anything at the moment. They're kind of in a bit of an awkward place as those Javelins continue to get good focus fire, but in the back, those Skinks are just MVPs, man, just doing so much damn work. Balance Fire is really even at this point, though. Wolfric continuing the chase here. Hunter of Champions is not active anymore, but Plague of Rust is active. And Wolfric, 4.9k to 4.8 against the Old Blood here. No support really for Wolfric. It looks like Glittering Robe might be going down, but oh, nice. Here come the Skin Wolves. This is really big. So this guy's Plague of Rusted right now, which means his armor's very low, but it's about to wear off. But basically, Skin Wolves don't have the best AP values, but, you know, with Plague of Rust active, they can really do a ton of damage against that Old Blood there. So if we look in the back, you can see that some of these Lizard Cav, the Coldland Spear Riders, are able to get a good engagement here against Marauder Hunter with the Javelins. Javelins with some nice focus fire as well, and the Lizard front line is actually buckling a little bit. Berserkers in sustained combat doing very well, but I think the biggest issue for Norska is the fact that Wolfric is in a little bit of trouble. Nice Wind Blast right there, trekking through those Berserkers and some of the Marauders and other forces like that. And Javelin's still going pretty strong. In the back, we have the Miststalkers, unfortunately, getting caught by Coldland Spear Riders, so nice target priority here by Imperator. But it looks like there are some Berserkers helping out as well, so maybe those guys are going to be getting some decent value. But here it looks like, guys, it looks like the Lizards are in pretty good shape, despite what the Bounce of Power may tell you. But yeah, no, it does look like the Lizards are in pretty good shape. I mean, Temple Guard Skinks, granted, the Saurus Old Blood has taken a bit of Javelin damage as well, so he's getting kind of low himself. Certainly a game that could be a comeback here, but yeah, it's looking like the Lizards are in a more commanding position. I don't know, it's hard to say, because yeah, the little Skinks getting a beautiful surround. They're going to be able to poke Wolfric like all day, 2,500 HP on him. I mean, they could really, really do some serious work here. And you can see Flying Taco is kind of coming back in the Bounce of Power, like slowly but surely, but still, I think the Lizards are in a pretty good position. Granted, when they do run out of ammo on the Skinks, if they aren't able to finish off Wolfric, it could be a big win for the Norskins here. So a couple of Norskin troops are going to be rallying here. Marauders and some Javelins. Flying Taco really needs to make sure to get those guys back very, very quickly here. And now you can see that the Saurus Old Blood is going to be coming for blood here. Last blood. Hunter of Champions going down. Wolfric committing to the fight. Glittering Robe active. He now has 130 armor in. I don't know, he might be able to pull out some sort of a nice trade here. You can see the Javelins, of course, with guard mode on, are getting some decent damage, but Horn of Kygor going down, just some really, really good buffs. Wolfric's very, very low, actually, in terms of his HP. He only has 500, so he's probably going to break here. But how is Norska, like, not more behind in the Bounce of Power? I guess they have some Spears fighting, they have Marauders, and I guess a big resurgence of Javelins up on the high ground. And Wolfric going out like an absolute champion, just fighting to the bitter end here. But it looks like the Saurus Old Blood is going to take out the Wanderer. No longer shall he wander, now he shall be eaten by a dinosaur. Always good times for all. So if we look around, let's take a look at what the Lizards have. They have a ton of Chameleon Skinks, just like lurking in all edges of the map here. The Javelins coming in for Norska here could be one avenue back into the game. I mean, if they can really pound out the Saurus Old Blood, but even still, I don't think so. The Norskin front line's buckling, and it looks like that's going to be game 2 for Imperator. Really well played. That was a close one, but his skirmishing was just so good that game, and he was able to pull out the W. Alrighty. Well played to those two fine gentlemen. Wolfric did fall off his ship there. Probably not his proudest moment. So let's go ahead here and update the score. There we go. 1-1, guys. We got a rubber match on our hands between Flying Taco and Imperator. Man, this is going to be great. All right, so let's do Ashen. Ashen's a good map. Well played, GG across the board. Let us see what they pick here for their last game. Oh, yeah. What's up, Shidoku? Hope you're doing well, man. Yeah, that was something. That was a good one. He wanders no longer. Now he wanders in the belly of a Carnosaur, it would appear. That was really good skink play, yeah. The skinks were pretty nasty for sure. A couple doggos would have been very helpful for sure, but with that amount of skinks, I don't think doggos, you would have had to go pretty heavy in the doggos. What's that, guys? How does Norsko transport mammoths on a longship? I have no idea. Gok Them, I'm going to be putting mostly characters. So probably like a sorcerer on a bike, a smash lord with like a thunder hammer and the ashen axe to keep people from falling back, and then maybe some like possessed and a rhino or something. Yeah, Johan, you can't win them all, man. You know, it's kind of like a random thing, you know. Sam Bonnet just saying, Dad. All right, so let's see what they pick. Yes. I believe so. Let me get the pick and ban rules for these guys real quick from the Cord of Disc. And guys, getting the ban rules. Alrighty. Cool. So, loser of round 2 bans 1, winner of round 2 bans, and then you pick. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Copy that in for them. Great. So they're all set. They're going to do their last bans here. Yeah, momentum is pretty substantial for sure. The uncertainty after facing a glorious defeat is certainly a very real thing. You know, best of sevens and things like that, it can be a little bit, you'll see more comebacks and whatnot, but this has been a great match. So, Flying Taco bans Wood Elves. I know Imperator likes to play Empire. I'm surprised we haven't seen him yet. Maybe he played them in some of the earlier games today. Ah, delicious H2O. Thank you guys for joining. We have 1,030 people here. Always solid to see the continued popularity of Total War Warhammer multiplayer. We'll see. I wonder what he's going to pick. Taco's a Bretonian guy. I wonder if he's going to go super bold and pick Bretonia. Sir Duncan the Tall, thank you so much for the 1999 special. What does that say? My Governin? What is that? Can never seem to catch a stream. Good luck to all the competitors. Thank you, man. I'm glad you made it to a stream. You're here. I mean, you got a lot to look forward to. We have this, and then we have finals after this. So that's going to be that. We'll see how that goes. Imperator thinking deep on his pick here. And we will see. My voice is great. Have I considered ASMR? No. Although if it made a lot of money, I would. I haven't. I'm a businessman. You know, I'm willing to try certain things, and if it pays the right amount. The thing about YouTube is it takes a long time to build up a community on YouTube, right? That can give you sustainable views, hence giving you a sustainable income. It's Sindarin? Oh, okay. It's Lord of the Rings greeting. Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah. Thank you guys for pointing that out. Well met in Elvish. Very cool, man. Yeah, I've read bits of the Silmarillion and of course Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit, but yeah. I need to be better. Amco says, going to do a test to see if 1200 gold depth guard beats 12 units of zombies? It probably would, actually, yeah. It depends. I don't know if they're fully surrounded. That's interesting. Yeah. All right, so Imperator here. Bans Chaos, picks Tomb Kings. So let's see what he picks. What's the Taco gonna pick? Tomb Kings is pretty strong. Banning Chaos, interesting. I always felt like Chaos wasn't super good against Tomb Kings, but I guess Trolls and they have an ample amount of good AP options against constructs. Hard to say. Are you at that stage now? What stage, Nicholas? Let's see, I'm trying to read your comment above. Garrett Bailey, hey, fair play, man. Yeah, oh man, Lord of the Rings Total War would be awesome. I hope that happens someday. Flying Taco is going to pick Counts. Oh man. So we're going to get the classic grudge match here. Well, this is, very much the grudge match, right? Tomb Kings certainly hate vampire counts in terms of the lore. So I wonder what we're going to see. I wonder what we'll see. Probably a couple gooses, I would imagine. Maybe like one Blood Knight for battlefield control just to shut down horsemen. A bunch of zombies, maybe a Mortis engine. Mortis engines aren't super necessary against Tomb Kings, although it doesn't hurt to just have like a draining healing beast just like dealing with the infantry. And the gooses and Blood Knights and like cheap cav in general aren't bad against Tomb Kings. But yeah, I don't think you go double Blood Knight here. I think you go Blood Knight, double Goose, Flying Vampire Lord, and then like maybe a Mortis engine? Yeah, but you'd have to bring him on a Hellsteed to avoid the single entity rule. Yeah. Lord of the Rings Total War. Oh god, that'd be so good. I know it would share some similarities, but it would be an interesting... Oh man. Oh my god. That'd be so fun. Imagine playing the campaign as like Rohan or Gondor. Oh god, that'd be so good. Whew. Unless it's Arkan, then yes, Tomb Kings say vampire counts. Yeah, for sure. Arkan's all about that vampire count life. But, him and Nagash. There's a mod for Medieval Total War, and you can play Urukai. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'd rather, like, play it on a newer engine. Yeah. Yeah, so let's see. I'm quite curious to see how Taco approaches this. Vargulfs are also quite good. Vargulfs regenerate. They have good mass. They have like a weird hitbox that they always get knocked over, and they're actually very good against like Tomb Scorpions and things like that. I'm not sure how they perform against like a big old Necrosphinx, but probably not great in a vacuum, but with cycle charging, maybe. But I think having a single goose at least is very important. Anti-large, poison, breath attacks, of course, quite solid at gooning out Tomb King's characters and stuff like that. There's a multitude of ways they could go about this. Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool to see Lord of the Rings like 4 or 5 years from now, like down the road. Like after they flesh out Warhammer and, it'd be cool. Imperator is playing Tomb Kings here, and he's going to be facing off against Taco's Vampire Counts. I don't know who's favored in this matchup. I guess as of late, I'm of the opinion that the Tomb Kings are probably slightly favored in this matchup. But I don't know. Yeah, I feel like in the hands of a Vampire Count specialist, you're going to be okay. It's just very much about gooning, right? If you don't get that goon, like that pick, those really good kind of single entity engagements, like you just kind of lose with vampires in many situations. There was a Throg pick earlier. Yeah, Throg, he got canned pretty good by the Tomb Kings earlier, if I'm not mistaken. If we're talking about the same match. Oh my god, yeah, Rohan would be awesome. Probably play pretty similar to Bretonnia, right? Although I feel like, yeah. The Undead come. This is a grindy one, though. This one usually goes forever because of Invocation and just the durability of constructs. And, like, Imperator will probably have, like, a constructed Death Blob and just will have, like, a Necrotech standing in them. Like, so basically, if you get the Necrotech, he has an item that imbues... I'm pretty sure it imbues Fire Weakness, the Vambraces of the Sun. And it imbues Fire Weakness on top of the Necrosphinx ROR, which does fire damage already. So, like, it can get pretty bad for the Vampire Counts if you get caught, like, a bad situation. Oh, man. So still picking. Both players knowing that this is the game that sends them to the finals. Their opponent waits atop a Throne of Skulls there. Random Mix coming out, doing some good work. And let me go ahead and check the brackets, make sure that everything's updated in challenge. Yeah, Random Mix is in the finals. Waiting for him. I know how this is, though. Like, I've been playing in a couple of community tournaments, and I really realize, like, how long it takes to, like, pick your stuff, you know? If you're really, like, focused. Yeah, I completely understand it taking a while. Wookiee's snoring behind me. Lovely. Oh. Now that I think of it, by the way, don't these rules say that when you have only... I'll answer his question right quick. For abusive. All right, cool. They're ready. Good luck. Have fun. Yeah, Balrogs. Yeah, Balrogs certainly aren't common, but you know what they could do for Lord of the Rings is they could go back to like the early ages. Yeah, I agree, Aerocrastic, for sure. I agree. But yeah, I think that they could go back to like the days of old when there was like more monstrous beings around and things like that, and like, you know, they had the Astari and like, you know, Gandalf's homies and all that stuff. It'd be interesting to see that. That would be a pretty vast universe to tackle. Oh my god. All right, guys. So here we are in the rubber match. It's going to be the Vampire Counts, led by Flying Taco, facing off against the forces of Imperator, who shall be playing the Tomb Kings. Oh, was that a Bone Giant? Oh, I got super excited about it being a Bone Giant for a second. So for Taco in the front line, actually pretty heavy troop quality. Interesting. I wasn't expecting this, but in total, he's got 4 Graveguard. Now, normally you see Vampire Count players go with a bunch of like Haggard Chaff and just not bring anything of quality in the infantry fight. But in this case, Taco going in hard with 4 Graveguard, which will beat Tomb King's infantry. Their armor and their bonus force infantry, extremely valuable for sure. So on top of that, we do also have some Blood Knights here. A Vargulf, a Dragon, and a Goose. Yeah, that's pretty solid. And as far as the Lord goes, it is a Blood Dragon Vampire Lord, so he's really going for the Helm of Discord, those big punching fights, and yeah, all that good stuff. Blood Knights, of course, going to be quite good at dealing with sepulchral stalkers and other things like that. And for the forces of Imperator, he's actually going to lose his frontline engagement pretty hard. Although I guess he has Ushabti, which are really, really nice. So nah, he'll be okay. So he does have 3 Ushabti, which will be a bit of a countermeasure against Graveguard. I like that quite a bit. 2 sepulchral stalkers. Interesting. Yeah, these guys are a very, very strange unit, the way they kind of play and work, but I'm quite curious to see how well they do. Perhaps very good against like a Vargulf, right? So on top of that, we do have the Necrosphinx, and it looks like here we do also have Cetra the Imperishable. Yeah, Imperator saying, good to know. I think personally the rules could be more liberal, so it's fine with me. Yeah, he was just asking about the engagement rules from the game he played earlier. Yeah, all's good. All's good in the hood. He does have the Sternsman, a lot of elite troops here. We're going to see how this goes. So here come the zombies, the Undead Legions, the Graveguard, going to be facing off against the forces of the Tomb Kings. Ushabti, though, are a pretty good lawnmower for sure. I'm curious what the target priority is going to be for Taco. Like, is he going to make a really conscious effort to just goon the leadership? Or is he going to play the more patient game and like kind of deal with the Ushabti and the sepulchral stalkers before he goes in for that final jump? It'll be pretty interesting to see for sure. Shall be quite interesting. Gollum is a hero. Oh my god, I can imagine that. He'd probably be like a Skaven assassin or something. Like the way he would play. Just jump. Gollum gets enraged when like someone has the ring and he just like goes nuts on him. Calamar Cinderball, I'll answer your question after the game. No worries, brother. So here come the dragons. The Goose, Zombie Dragon, Breath Attacks could be pretty good against probably Kepragard. That'd probably be what you're going to focus here. It looks like Taco's getting in position for that Breath Attack right now, although there is a little bit of a tree line. But yeah, Breath Attacking the Kepragard would be a huge win for him, assuming he was able to get it. Sepulchral Stalkers do also have ranged attacks, which is kind of cool because, although I don't know if their ranged attacks can shoot things in the air. I'm pretty sure it can, but I mean, if they can, yeah, it's just something you don't see terribly often. But that's a good deterrent against like Vampire Counts just like flying around. It's also going to be Cetra the Imperishable on horseback. I always feel like he's like this like majestic lord, right? And whenever you see him on horseback, I always feel like it's kind of underwhelming. It's like, that's not that majestic of a mount. So the Goose is going to be coming. Vargulf coming around the flank as well. Blood Knights might go right up the pipe. I would probably use Blood Knights to just pick apart the Ushabti and the Sepulchral Stalkers and things like that. And here comes the first engagement. So Skeleton Warrior's going to be jumping in as well. And it looks like the Terrorgeist and the Zombie Dragon just waiting for the Kepragard to fly down the pipe, it looks like. And Breath Attack going, 1 Goose attack going on Cetra, and it makes some contact, but it looks like Imperator, with a really nice juke right there, is able to dodge it. And look, here come the Sepulchral Stalkers shooting up in the sky. Vampire Count's probably not used to that. They're like, what the hell are these units? You never see those things. But the Goose has taken a bit of work, and both players have engaged. So Graveguard are going to be engaging with Kepragard here, and we have Sternsman engaging across the entire battle line. And yeah, I mean, Flying Taco probably wants to pull back that Goose. It's taken a lot of free damage. So the Vargulf could actually go after the Ushabti pretty effectively as well. That's probably what I would do. Oh, that Breath Attack's so nice. Huge Breath Attack coming in from Taco. Just wrecks the Kepragard. That was a really, really nice cast. I mean, they're 1,000 gold. That is huge value. So Vargulf's going in here, but yeah, basically what I would probably do if I were Taco, and is I would just try and avoid the Sphinx like at all costs and just finish else. Yeah, and he's basically doing that. He does, of course, have the Vargulf in here, but aside from that, he's going after the Ushopti here with his Bloodjack and Vampire Lord and his Goose, which I like quite a bit. Now, the Halberds, of course, can screen. Blood Knight's coming in for a big charge. They get a decent charge here onto the Sphinx, but it'll still take them some time to take it out. Von Hell's Dance Kebab going down on them as well. But yeah, there's a lot of Halberds, a lot of anti-large here. I probably wouldn't stay too long with these Blood Knights. I'd probably pull them back. They're taking some pretty substantial casualties, and Blood Knights are not a cheap unit. Those guys are very, very pricey boys. But it looks like he's going for an engagement here against the Sphinx, and yeah, he's popping all the buffs. Heart Piercing going down. He could get some huge damage. Helm of Discord as well. There are some Graveguard here supporting, and yeah, the Sphinx taking a lot of damage, and the nice cycle charge from the Blood Knights coming back in. Really, really good engagement by Flying Taco. Granted, his Vargulf is taking a lot of damage as well, but the Blood Knight saturation, plus just the raw firepower here of this fully operational Blood Dragon Vampire Lord, it's just wrecking this freaking Sphinx so hard, and that could be a pretty quick loss. If that Sphinx goes down, I don't really see the Tomb Kings coming back from this. Oh my god, Imperator loses the Sphinx. The Dragon coming in with the Goose, the Heart Piercing from the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord, Helm of Discord just buttered that guy's sweet, sweet bread. Man. So as far as the rest of the armies go, if we look around here, you can see Sternsman still fighting pretty effectively here. We have Graveguard still going, and now it's pretty much the world is the oyster for the Vampire Counts, because now that the big kind of battle line defensive unit in the form of that Sphinx is gone, he can just fly around and goon out the Ushopti with his powerful single entities here. And the Ushopti are very good against the Graveguard. I actually really like that aspect of Imperator's build, but the fact that his Sphinx got isolated in such a manner, man, that was really, really painful. So Blood Dragon Vampire Lord going to be switching right here, getting a fat breath attack right down the pipe here on the Kepler Guard, but it looks like it was like a partial cast. And I think they're just saying good luck, have fun. Up on the high ground, of course, we do have Sepulchral Stalkers and other things like that. Skeleton Warriors. Those Blood Knights had that pull back on the Blood Knights, and then the re-engagement was so clutch. It like painted that Sphinx, did such good damage on the flank there. I was really, really impressed by that. So Blood Knights, yeah, probably just want to be careful with them. Use them on the wings to just kind of get freebies wherever they can. Bounce Power is still pretty even. I mean, the Ushopti are winning the infantry fight. So mind you, a lot of the Graveguard and units like that are having a really bad time. Oh man, beautiful summon by Taco. He screens out the Sepulchral Stalkers, buys a little bit more time to feast on the Ushopti. And over here on the far side, you can see the Vampire Counts are pulling ahead here with the Vargulf just gorilla pounding these Ushopti down with the Goose. So if we look around, Blood Knight's getting a downhill charge here. Oh, the full sandwich coming in as the Knights of Red Keep are just going to be lancing into these guys right here. And the Zombie Dragon up in the sky probably going to be coming in as well and just isolating. Oh man, look at just the gooning, just the absolute isolation coming out. Deleting like 1,000 gold plus unit like instantly with the Helm of Discord. Man, that is like Vampire Counts 101. Just really good timing strikes, picking off weak targets, just going for the, the sensitive spots in your opponent's army. Man, great play. The Ushopti summon is coming down, but I don't think it's going to save Imperator's forces here, as those guys are, they're in a bit of trouble. They're all crumbling down. Blood Knights might meet their end here, but I think they've certainly paid their dues. Now, as far as the ground fight goes, there still are 55 graveyards. Well, I guess technically there are 55 graveyards here in the form of Graveguard. Those Graveguard are crumbling here, and yeah, the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord just going in for this engagement here. There are some Ushopti nearby, but the Ushopti aren't going to be like huge, breadwinners against him. Granted, if Cetra were able to like goon out the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord somehow, that would be really big. But basically, at this point, I think Taco just needs to kind of take casual, loose engagements until the Ushopti summon is gone, which it's not going to be that much longer. And you can see here, Blood Ints, of course, getting great value against the Sepulchral Stalkers. And yeah, he's going in. Oh my god, Cetra just getting pancaked right here. The Blessed Blade of Petra going down, but the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord with Heart Piercing is no joke. I mean, his charge bonus is huge, his weapon damage is huge. The legacy of our Borash is certainly very, very strong here, as you can see this Cetra's. He's going to be serving this Blood Dragon Vampire Lord for the time being. So over here we have the Vargulf and the remnants of the Blood Knights taking out Sepulchral Stalkers, and that's pretty much going to be game there. Cetra just getting massacred here by this Blood Dragon Vampire Lord. Yeah, he's going to be getting knocked. He's going to be serving this time, guys. He usually does well, but that's going to be game. So Flying Taco is going to be advancing to the grand finals with a glorious victory with the Vampire Counts. Man, that was some really, really masterful timing and great engagements. Both players played a great game, but man, that Sphinx just got annihilated by the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord. Yeah, they're such cool looking units too. All right, so let's update the scoreboard. Flying Taco will be advancing on to the finals to face Randomix. Well played to him. Really, really good timings. Really amazing timings. Good breath attacks. Imperator says, good luck in the finals with an exclamation point. Good sportsmanship all around. So Randomix, let's get you in the lobby now. So I'm going to go ahead and find him on my friends list, and we'll invite him. Alrighty. At random. So this is best of 5. We're doing it to it. Shall Flying Taco be our champion today? Or shall it be Randomix? We shall find out here in the next episode. Need a break, Taco, or you good? I'm just seeing if Flying Taco needs a little bit of a break to do some things. He said not. He's warm. He's like, let's roll. Let's go hard. We're gonna do a Stallion Tomb for the first map. There's just like dogs howling outside. It's anarchy! Stalkers didn't do much. They had a little bit of trouble. I kind of like the idea though to have those like stalkers like shooting the spitters up at the flying vampire counts units. So Randomix is gonna go check the map, which is fine. Yeah, it's really interesting. Oh my god, there's like some little chihuahua just like squealing out there. Just howling. He's like trying to howl like all the big dogs. Alright, so I will report the score for this game. Cool. So we got Flying Taco and Randomix here in the finals. So in the meantime, while these players take care of business, let's go ahead and recap the brackets for the day so everybody can kind of get up to speed on what's been going down. So these are the brackets for today. You can see that in the finals, of course, we have Randomix and Flying Taco. So far on stream, you guys have seen Zero versus Randomix, which was our first best of 3 here. And then we have Flying Taco and Imperator, the games you guys just saw. Amazing games across the board, but you can see kind of the journey they took. We had some, popular names here, some faces you'd probably recognize. But yeah, amazing games. So Flying Taco's journey, he fought Ben the Barman. He then had a 2-0 victory over Hadries, a 2-1 over Imperator, and now he's in the grand finals. And today for Randomix, he played against Chosen One. From there, he was able to defeat Aneurysm Sauce with a 2-1 over Zero. That was the next game, and now he's in the grand final as well. A couple celebrity performances here from the Lore Master of Sotek with the 2-0 victory in the first round, and pretty good games against Hadries as well. I haven't seen the Mandalorian show yet. I'm excited for that. I'm really excited to watch that, actually. Yeah. Unleash the Wookiee on the half-breed. All right, so that's pretty funny, Misha. All right. Oh, yeah, Cinderpaw, I got to answer your question. Okay. I don't know why. Like, saying Wookiee, like, made me think Paw, and then it made me think your name. All right, so we'll go back here. So, Calamar Cinderpaw asks, if they do Total War 40k, how would they handle the shooting and cover? Would it just be like Sci-Fi Total War Empire? Yeah, I think so, Calamar. I think that, let me make sure they're all good for the picks and bans. Cool. So yeah, I think it would be easy, right? Like, okay, you want a Devastator squad? Rattling Gunners. You want some Scout Snipers or, Eliminators? Bam, you have Jazales. Like, they already have a lot of, like, the groundwork in. It's just a matter of if they want to do, like, cover and terrain, and it would be interesting to see how they do that, like, with cities and buildings and things like that. That's really the biggest thing. They could just opt to go, like, Total War and just, like, have, like, yeah, that's going to be the most interesting part of it, actually, is, like, how they would do terrains and urban, like, landscapes and cities and things like that. Like, street fighting. Like, moving through buildings. But, yeah, that would probably be the more challenging thing. But, man, it would be so cool. Like, I think the groundwork's already there. Like, what Forsaken are literally like Khorne Berserkers, right? Like, just give them when you have zombie powered deckhand mobs moving, they shoot their pistols. Just give Forsaken shooting advancing pistols and reskin them, and bam, you have Khorne Berserkers. Like, the mechanics are all there. The engine can do it all. It's just a matter of, like, integrating, like, terrain and things like that. And yeah, but obviously it's going to be more, like, ranged focus, but there will be melee armies as well. I think I've heard people say, like, oh yeah, 40k Total War wouldn't. It would work, and it would be great. It would be really good. And I bet you it'll happen someday. I'd be willing to wager on it. I think they would have knights, like Imperial Knights would. An Imperial Knight would be like a Necrofex Colossus, but just a little bit bigger, Yeah. But who knows, like, how they would. Then maybe they might, like, not integrate Titans and stuff like that. They could just keep it a little bit more smaller scale. They could go so many directions with it. Yeah. If you're talking about campaign, I don't think it'd be that difficult either. It's just like, like provinces in Total War Warhammer could be like little, like, galactic systems and stuff. Like, it wouldn't be that bad. Total War 40k would end your life. That's all you would do. So we have Beastmen versus Dwarves here in the first matchup. I'm going to go with Dawi and Ban High Elves and Dark Elves and Flying Taco with Beastmen. This is a hard one. This is a hard one for Dwarves, in my opinion. Really cost-effective AP for Beastmen here. Like the Razorgore Pigs, Vestigores, Chariots, Harpies to shut down Gyros and Ground Forces. It's really, like, it's pretty gnarly. Yeah. All right, guys, I'll be back in 1 second. All right, guys, I'm back. You want to hear Wookie telling me how much he loves me? Hey, Wookie, how much do you love me? Can I? Okay. Can I pet you? Okay. Nope. Nope. He doesn't want any of that. Nope. Oh my god, he's such a mean dog. Oh. I literally so we have our bedroom here, right? And then to the left is like the restroom, and then the kitchen is on the other side. And I needed to use the restroom there. So basically, I had to go around like the long way just so I didn't have to pass by Wookie, where he's like guarding the pass. He's so mean. Hey, thanks, Misha. Appreciate the support as always. Yeah, we're doing it. Space battles. Yeah, I don't know. I probably wouldn't, if I were designing Total War 40k, like I wouldn't spread myself too thin by adding space battles. Like I would just have the same system they have here. I know a lot of people might not like that, but like if you want space battles, just like play Armada, you know? Armada's an amazing game. Battlefleet Gothic. He's a grumpy doggo, yeah. Wookie's like very strange. Like so for example, if I grab Wookie and I hand him to Anna, and Anna sits down, like on a low, vulnerable position, Wookie will like guard her against me. And then if I sit down and I'm sitting in a vulnerable position, and Anna puts Wookie on me, he'll guard me from Anna. It's like he has like some weird mentality that he must have developed before we rescued him. Wookie's he is Gandalf for sure. I know, yeah, I could trick. The one thing, Rain, if I did give him like a treat, he would like be nice to me until he finished eating the treat, and then he would be mean again. All right, guys. So here we are. I'll answer questions about my opinion on naval battles a little bit later if I can remember. So here we are, guys, in the grand finals of today's Open, the second Open, the Thanksgiving edition. It's going to be Flying Taco facing off against Randomix. Randomix, of course, going to be playing the Proud Dwarves, and Flying Taco coming in with the Beast People. So it's going to be Bestigor Herds, Morkor the Shadowgave, Chariots, single entity chariots with the Bray Shaman with the Lord Manticores. A Gorbel here, 2 Harpies up in the sky, and looks like there's going to be a Vanguard as well. There's got to be. Oh my god, and the massive Beastmen rush from behind. You can see here there's going to be a ton of Gore Herds and like just nasty Beast People in the forest. Oh, this is going to be great. Not sure what Randomix is doing right now. Looks like he's like deploying, and then he's going to switch it to like face the Beastmen. But for his army, it's going to be a combination of Ironbreakers, Miners in the front, with a ton of Rangers, it looks like. That's a lot to protect for sure. Good focus fire, which can do substantial damage against Beastmen targets, but that is a lot to protect against such a mobile, aggressive army. Usually dwarf builds I see against Beastmen are more like kind of defensive in the pocket. So for the Lord, he does have Thorgrim Grudgebearer, which is quite good against Beastmen. He can like stack with his troops and make really good last stands against Beastmen pressure. Oh my god, it's happening. Are you guys seeing this right now? Are you guys seeing this? So the Dwarves are doing a mass Vanguard build. Everything has Vanguard against the Beastmen, who are doing a mass Vanguard behind them. Oh my god. This is lunacy. Both players, look at this. Oh my god, the Dwarven ambush there. Yeah, he's going to have to move forward and engage here, though. Just so he doesn't line camp here. That is ridiculous. So the Beastmen are going to have to reposition themselves. Flying Taco. Remember not to hug edge of map random. Cool, I'm just letting him know. We'll give him a little bit of a warning here, but you can't use the edge of the map Like that would be considered line camping. Will be rule break for line camping. Need to move closer. Cool. So I'm just letting him know he can't hug the edge of the map. He has to advance outward, and he's going to. So he's listening, which is good. So yeah, now the Beastman should have ample areas to like get surrounds and things like that. So cool. He's moving forward. Can't complain. So yeah, this is going to be absolute insanity. Both players are just, yeah, you can see that Flying Taco said LOL in all caps. So his like Beastman Vanguard is like running here because typically dwarves would take advantage of that hill, and it would be like, you know, this would make more sense, right? Looks like here, yeah, that's probably enough room. It's a close call. But basically, yeah, he's advancing out, he's attacking, all's good in the hood. So the Chariot's coming over here. Looks like it might kind of drift around the back here. The thing is, though, is like Randomix has like no defensive assets in his back line. Like if like Chariots or mobile pressure gets into that archer line, it's going to be pretty disastrous. So Thorgrim Grudgebearer here. Yeah. This is nuts, isn't it, Falcon? What am I doing? Did I forget something? Oh, I forgot to change the scoreboard. Oh no. Okay, yeah, we'll do it. I'll get it. But yeah, guys, this is game one. This is Flying Taco facing off against Randomix here in the finals. So here you can see the Gore Herds are going to be surging in, going after these Bugman's Rangers. And the thing about Bugman's Rangers is they'll actually probably hold their own against Gore Herds. I mean, yeah, it's not a great engagement, but at least they're not like just pushovers in combat. Blasting charges going down to the Gore Herds, and Morker is being used as a bait to deal with the blasting charges as well. And as cool as this dwarf deployment is, I'm a little bit concerned that the miners, Ironbreakers will do well. They'll be able to hold back Vestigore Herds for quite some time, but the fact that there's like no backline defense here for Randomix's army is a little bit scary for him for sure. Let's see what they're saying here. Randomix says, yeah, that's pretty funny. So Harpy searching in as well, going after the Bugman's Rangers. Gorbel getting in there as well, and it looks like Morker has dropped his staff summon right here on top of the Bugman's Rangers. And a substantial portion of the archers are pretty much in dire straits already, like huge problems for them. Manticore summon going down from Flying Taco is going to be diving in the back, going after the Rangers. What a wild Vanguard game, just absolute lunacy. But yeah, like most of the archers, probably like 80% of them are just shut down right now. And like the front line engagements aren't really winnable for the dwarves either. I'm just like not sure where the dwarves are going to pull their wins. Just so many things are being chased off and compromised, and they've done some okay damage to some of the Razor Gores and things like that, but I just don't know where they're going to get their money's worth here. There's just so much stuff that's just been shut down already for the dwarves, and you can see the Beastmen here are going to be pulling probably a pretty quick victory, as you can see the bounce power already going in the favor of the Beastmen. Now, against like a Cygor build or a build like that, this Dwarven Vanguard would have been really strong, but against Taco's very traditional AP rush with Chariots, Bestigors, Harpies, things like that, it's gonna be tricky. So yeah, guys, that's like that looks like it's gonna be a quick one here. I don't know how the dwarves are gonna do it. You can see on pretty much every front they're being hunted. They're just being cleaved by Gorbel here. Al Gorbel, as Arab Carthage would call him. I think it's Arab Carthage came up with that, right? We got Harpies over there doing their thing, tying things down to the back. Some Rangers have come back online, but the best scores are just surging in with the ferocity of 1,000 beasts. And yeah, I just don't think there's any way the dwarves can do it. Yeah, and you can see Randomix knows. He's like, it's over. It's over. Yeah. I feel like that build was a very risky pick against Beastmen. But that's going to be a quick game one going to the Taco. Yeah. You know, I love Randomix's build. It was great. The Mass Vanguard. Well, at least Flying Taco's on the right side. So he'll be here. And Randomix will be here. Sorry for forgetting to update that, guys. Really appreciate the reminder. I knew something was missing. There we go. So this is best of 5. So we'll see what they pick next. Zoo Glacial Lake. Actually, let me pick a map I don't normally pick. I'll go to this lovely sheet here. Do River Amixon. Actually, I pick that one all the time. Do I? Do Vulture Ridge. Pretty sure that's a good one. Cool. Pretty big map too. Randomix says meme too close to the sun. Vulture Ridge. Next map. Man of the People for sure. I know that was really funny because Taco had like his huge Vanguard back there, and then the dwarves were just like all sneaky in the corner of the map. Oh my god. Yeah, it's really hard. I think that's a hard matchup for dwarves in general. It's winnable for sure, but it's quite tough. Randomix says he knows this map, so no need. Cool. Good man. We'll see what he does. So now it is time for the next set of picks and bans. And we'll go here. Yeah, I've thought about doing screen blockers during deployment phase, but it's a nice time to talk about the armies. Yeah. It might not be bad. It might not be a bad idea. Maybe I'll put it to a vote or something and see what people think. There is a delay on stream, but it's not like that big, so. Yeah, Beastmen are a really competitive faction, I think. I think like they have some hard matchups like Tomb Kings, but they can still win those matchups. Like Beastmen are solid. So he's gonna pick Bretonnia. Oh, Flying Chaco coming in with Bretonnia. And he knows his opponent's already played Dwarves, so he doesn't have to worry about playing Dwarves. Although, yeah, Footsquare's Quest and Knight's pretty good against Dwarves, but I feel like Dwarves are a little bit hard for, or Dwarves are good against Bretonnia. So he's gonna pick Bretonnia, and he's got 2 bans. So we're gonna, oh, are we doing double ban in a best of 5? I forgot to mention that to them. Okay, so what we're gonna do, so double ban here, then from there, single bans. This is best of 5. Cool. So he's going to do a double ban here, and then we'll switch to single bans after this. Because in best of 5, like double bans are not as good. I think single bans are better there. So we'll. I can't add. There is a delay already. Yeah, it's like 20 or 30 seconds, I think. So okay. So Flying Taco is going to ban Lizardmen and Coast. Both good choices. Both are pretty good against Bretonnia. Granted, I feel like Taco could take on Vampire Coast with his Bretonnia. Like a bunch of peasant archers and just like, you know, stuff flying around everywhere. So Randomix picks. Let's see what he picks. The man. Is he going to take such a ballsy build again? We will find out. And again, best of 5 format. Players would just need to get 3 victories to win. It was a really cool Dwarf build. I think it would have been better with Thunderers. You would think like, oh yeah, Beastmen are lightly armored. Let's bring bows. But Thunderers are way better. But they can't Vanguard to play. But Thunderers are really good at hammering chariots, Bestigor herds. Like their arcs of fire are way better against harpies. We haven't really had stream sniping for sure, because like had they been stream sniping, like they would have like seen those vanguards and accorded, right? But they clearly neither of them knew what was going on. Yeah. Yeah, it's a tricky situation. Yeah, it's tricky. Warhammer has its own nuances like that. How would you guys kill a Dread Saurian and a Slann with the Tempest spell? How would you guys kill a Dread Saurian and a Slann with Tempest spell with Bretonnia? I'm not sure what your question is, Emo Warlord. Emu. So a Slobber Knocker is like really like haggard, archaic. Well, let me look at the actual definition of it. It's like an old world kind of term. So yeah, Urban Dictionary. Let's see. I believe it was like may have come from like WWE. It basically is just like, you know, a violent collision, like a big fight, like, you know, that's basically what you call a slobber knocker. Yeah. George Blind, yeah. That's good to know. Yeah, you know, it's still really good feedback, and for future tournaments I might do something where like we just look at the armies once they finish deploying. I think that's a fair point. I know these two guys are both like, I know them, but again, there could be certain situations in which someone may come in and they might want to really win that $25 Steam card really bad. So yeah, that's a really fair point. All right, so Flying Taco, Bretonnia, and it looks like Randomix is going to go Norska. Norska has a really good matchup versus Bretonnia. Famir with great weapons, javelins, frostworms for pinning down things. Although frostworms are a little bit risky in case Bretonnia goes with like a Royal Air Force. But I think that this is a Norska favored matchup. But, you know, the Bretonnia can still win it, for sure. For sure. Yeah, I mean, like Questing Knights, Knights of the Realm are very good against Skinwolves. Yeah, it depends. Like when I play Norska against Bretonnia, I typically bring like Marauder champion or Marauders and a couple champs mixed with javelins and Famir and spears in the back. And I actually like Throg a lot in this matchup. Throg's good. Bretonnia's good though. Bretonnia is like a very high skill cap faction. I think like they're very hard to play on a competitive level, but if you do, and people who are specialists and really good with their cav units can just do insane work. They do struggle a little bit against single entities for sure. I mean, they have a couple powerhouse lords. I mean, Lewin is pretty good against single entities. So is Alberic, but it's like, you know, they're not the tankiest of the lads themselves. Lewin is. Lion Shield is really good. Gives some magic resist. So if he's fighting like a magic single entity, he can get some really good value there. Sword of Corone is insanely good as well. Lewin's a powerhouse, but Alberic does give bonus for large to nearby stuff, which is really cool. So vampire counts versus high elves is very hard. Yeah, I'd say it's a tricky one for vampire counts. No. Tempest is really good, yeah. In that matchup. Wookiee's snoring back here. He's literally in his bed, just like his face just tucked into the side of it. Just yeah. So we'll see what happens. We're on the Vulture Ridge, which is like, I believe it's like 2 low ground starting positions. So both players will be rushing for the high ground here, basically. Bretonnia should be able to secure that a little bit quicker. Their mobility and their cav and things like that. Yeah, I'm just reading your question here, Mr. Warlord. Pegasus Knights are bad against Lizardmen. Yeah, they're not the best. Their AP is very low proportionally, so Lizardmen usually like baseline on single entities is like 100, and even more on some, like 140 on Stegodons, I think. So yeah, Pegasus Knight's not the best against Lizards in my opinion. I agree with that. Lizards is a hard matchup for Bretonnia, but honestly, like, what would I do? What would be my build against him? Definitely Lewin. Probably bring like a Paladin on a little tiny Pegasus just to get an extra bonus for large / Guardian character. Lore of Life for sure. You can mix in a couple like Foot Squires with Men at Arms and Peasant Mobs for screening. Some Archer play is good, just to like, you know, deal with miscellaneous threats. You can come in with like Questing Knights, I think. A Turin meme glossary. I think somebody's made bingo cards for Party Elite, and I don't know if they did it for me, but I know Party Elite had some back when he used to do a lot of Total War stuff. Yeah, well, in this case, I don't click on the armies because the players would be able to see each other's. Do they have any questions here? Oh, they're just saying, let's have some fun. Ready? Okay, cool. I'm going to ready up. I need to wait for old me. I don't believe he banned Norska, no. I don't think he banned Norska. Let me check. Taco would have said something. No, he said he banned Lizardman and Coast. Yeah. I think they're in Discord together too, I'm not sure. No, actually probably not. What about Alberic versus Lizardman? He's not bad. I'm personally... Yeah, Alberic versus Lizardman isn't terrible, yeah. Because he can give Questing Knights bonus versus large, which makes him pretty good at dealing with... Not like super good, but like more efficient. Yeah. And Nicholas did an auto. We'll drop a link. Misha, Wicked, if any of you guys are hanging out, if you guys could drop a link to the tournament Discord we run, that'd be great for anyone who'd like to get involved in playing these tournaments. They are open. First come, first serve. I usually announce them. This one didn't even fill up. We got 30 of 32 spots filled. We had people drop. But, oh, yes! So yeah, there should be more than enough room if you guys want to come in. And really, that's one of the better ways to improve. Just come in, just take your beatings, and, learn, improve. So it's going to be King Lewin, of course, with the Sword of Corone. Sword of Corone, just such a damn good item. Peasant Mobs, Spearmen. We do have the Holy Wardens. It looks like the Beast Slayers of Bastogne. And also a couple bows, which are great. Good against Skin Wolves. Okay against single entities like Mammoths, things like that. Like it quite a bit. Mounted Yeoman Archers up there. And the Royal Air Force. Oh my god. The deployment. Pegasus Knights. Marauder Horsemen. This is going to be a circus. Once again, these two players loving their Vanguard tactics. Now for the forces here of Random Mix in the front. It's going to be Marauders. To the Sunset, 2 groups of Famir, a bunch of Spears. We do also have a Bale Fiend here, and it looks like Throg. Yeah, Throg is a good choice. I like this Norskin build. I think it's quite good. Instead of going with like Javelins, he decided to go with Marauder Horsemen with Throwing Axes, which are quite good. Granted, Pegasus Knights can actually catch them, so I'm quite... Yeah, he's probably just going to fall back amongst his ranks here with these Horsemen, but both players with really cool builds. And Pegasus Knights, you would think they would struggle against Famir, which in sustained combat they will, but Famir don't have the best leadership, so if you can like rear charge the Famir, hit them hard enough with like a Sword of Corone, because Lewin lowers armor with Sword of Corone, so you pop that. Let's go ahead and show you guys for anyone who's new to the game. If you look, you can see Lewin's item here when activated lowers armor. So you go in, you put the Famir down to 80 armor, you fly in, Alpha Strike them with Pegasus Knights, break them, and then chase them off the battlefield. So again, Another crazy battle. Oh, the Pegasus Knights just diving in, but also taking a lot of damage on the approach here. Oh man, I love ridiculous Vanguard shenanigans. It's always so much fun. So the Pegasus Knights definitely want to pull back. Horsemen, honestly, in some respects, maybe got the upper hand there. And it looks like here he's going to be going after these Marauder Horsemen. He might need to take an angle of pursuit, but he didn't lose. He lost one Pegasus Knight. Horsemen took some casualties, but still, I would call that actually a win for Norska, as they got some decent damage on more expensive units. Yeah, that was pretty wild. So the Bretonnians are going to be surging up the hill. Pegasus Knights looking for some engagements here, but the Marauder Horsemen screening certainly doing quite good. But Norska will do very, very well in the infantry fight. So if Flying Taco doesn't have really good control with his Pegasus Knights and really just get those picks that he's looking for, like this Bretonnian army probably will struggle in the main infantry fight. Granted, Peasant Archers will be very good against Berserkers and other targets like that. So we'll see how this works. I like this Norscan build. I just think maybe I would probably bring like 2 Javelins and maybe a couple Doggos and things like that, like Frost Wolves, just to deal with cycle charging. But that would be the only thing I'd really change as far as my preferred build. Granted, I'm not the best Norscan player. So Archers coming down here. Peasant Bowmen shooting into the Berserkers, which again is a very, very good value target. And you can see here, maybe Taco's going to be going for like a cornering. Yeah, and you can see Randomix knows, like, it looks like Taco is going to try and like chase him out and then like corner him with the 2 Pegasus Knights. But you can see here Randomix is going to be falling back to his like main formation and keeping the Marauder Horsemen like high and tight near spears and different things like that, which I think is good. And yeah, another thing, yeah, Mr. Pig, Jason, I agree. I think Pegasus Knights are very good against Skinwolf play. So, you know, had there been Skinwolves, it could have been good. So in the back, Lewin going for a pick here. He jumps on Randomix's Balefiend, gets some nice damage, and is he going to be able to get away? It looks like it. He may take a couple axes in the process, but now the brave peasants of Bretonia going to be running. I love the timing of that. The brave peasants of Bretonia, yep, going to be turning their backs and just being cleaved asunder by a massive horde of angry Norskins. And this is where, oh man, this is where Taka really shines. So some of the Famir are overextending, at which point they get countercharged by the Pegasus Knights, and they're going to be taking a ton of damage from 2 fully erect Pegasus Knights. Like, that's going to be so much damage. On top of that, Lewin with a rear charge in the front line could potentially get a terror route, but of course Norska is going to be laying a hammering in the front line engagements. On top of that, here you can see that the horsemen for Random X are going to be coming in, going after King Lewin, who does not have the Lion Shield active. Maybe he's going to pop it right now, but the Pegasus Knights did some really good initial burst damage, but now they're actually getting wrecked pretty bad. And the reason being is because there's Marauder Spears and Famir attacking them, so they're not only is their armor sundered, but they're also taking anti-lark damage. So that was a really nice play. He does break off to Famir, but at a bit of a cost. Now, Pegasus Knights still have good model count, so with ample healing, he should be okay. So those Famir are broken. Now, at this point, grabbing some Pegasus Knights, chasing those Famir off could be pretty good. But Randomix here doing a very good job rotating with his horsemen and screening out the Pegasus Knights. But the Pegasus Knights, oh man, we have a fight between Throg and Lewin, but it looks like Lewin's going to be forced back. Throg, of course, a great anti-large duelist. Pegasus Knights coming in for the kill, getting a fully solid charge there on those Famir. But are they going to stabilize? 6 leadership, 976, -12. Looks like those Famir are going to break. But again, Pegasus Knights are, I guess they cost 1,100 or 1,200 for the standard unit, so their cost is about the same as the Famir. So for every unit of Famir that are basically taken out, it's like equal to about a Pegasus Knight unit. So a couple Pegasus Knights still in line. We have 14 here, we have 14 here. Randomix's forces in the front, though, getting good sustained combat. You know, some of these Pegasus Knights are just being dragged down by just Marauder Spearmen. That's a really unfortunate engagement. Famir just clubbing him. Really, really nice stuff. Now, one thing that's a little bit ugly here is the blob. There's like, you know, 3 or 4 infantry units like mucked up on 2 units here. He should like micro them up and around and start pressuring other angles as well, but nonetheless, it's not the worst thing. He's obviously focusing elsewhere. Oh no, but Throg overextends a little bit, guys, and now he's paying the troll toll. King Lewin's coming for him, and if Throg gets broken, that's pretty bad for Norska, and you can see the bounce of power is coming back because of that. And it looks like Throg might be able to just barely survive. Lewin's going to be going for the caster, so a couple really good picks for Bretonia here, as they are really struggling in some aspects of the battle, but if they get those picks, if they can take out the Balefiend, if they can take out Throg, chase him off, that would probably pull the game back for Flying Taco, as he's currently in a bit of a scary position. So as far as like troops, 82 peasant mobs, some spearmen here. I think over here there's like some halberds fighting, the Beast Slayers, and the Holy Warden still fighting up in the front line as well. Pegasus Knights are pulling back, and as far as model count, we have 14 here. We have 9 here as well, and it looks like that Balefiend is finally broken by King Lewin. So at this point, just using very beat up Pegasus Knights to chase them off is probably going to be your best bet. Granted, not necessarily because of the Marauder Horsemen, and this is where Throg really shines, is because Throg is a troll. Therefore, he's going to be healing. He has natural regeneration. Oh, and the Balefiend's back. Lewin gets fended off by the Marauder Horseman. And I have to say, Randomix's Marauder Horseman play this game has been extremely good. He's just been really, really on point with that. So, you know, Bretonia on the ropes here. Certainly down, but not out by any stretch of the imagination. Lewin is still healthy. There still are Pegasus Knights up in the air. Peasant Archers are, putting some solid peppering here into this Norscan force. But for the most part, the Famir, there's a full health group of Famir here. There's 4 here, and the Norscan infantry are going to be a bit of an issue. Yeah, now Lewin could terror out some of them, do some good work, but it's going to be a lot of work for sure for Flying Taco to come back in this game. So let me see what they're saying up here. Just good luck, have fun. Always check the chat during the games to make sure they don't have any rules questions or anything like that. So Pegasus Knights going for a charge here in the Balefiend. Balefiend is a large entity, so the bonus for large in the Pegasus Knights is quite good, but an enfeebling foe going down, throwing axes, just tearing those guys apart. And Lewin's going to be coming in to attack these Famir warriors right here, which is an interesting choice. They have great weapons. They can turn around and really hurt him quite a bit. But I think it's mainly just a distraction while he does things with his Pegasus Knights here. A nice charge coming into those Famir. Should break him, but now the Troll Toll is going to be paid. Randomix coming in with the big old Troll. Pegasus Knights coming in as well. Both players committing all of their resources here, realizing this is like do or die for more so for Bretonnia. But King Lewin is going to be getting slapped with the fat regrowth. And Sword of Krone is active as well, so those Famir are all broken off. The Pegasus Knights were able to win that fight, but I feel like Norska just has too much left. I mean, they have so many horsemen left. They have a bunch of spearmen and Marauder infantry, and Throg is just going to keep healing. He is a troll after all. So here you can see King Lewin wavering, 11 leadership. He's pretty close to breaking here. Throg getting a big attack right in the back of Lewin there, and it looks like he might break, or is he going to waver? It looks like, man, just barely stabilizing at 5 leadership, but if Throg gets like 1 or 2 more attacks, he'll probably break. Although Stand Your Ground is popped, which keeps him active. 8 leadership. Oh my god, Lewin is just in the danger zone. But at this point, the Norskins are just collapsing on the Bretonians on pretty much every front, and it looks like that's going to be it. I mean, Lewin is not going to be able to solo this, and Throg could basically just sit amongst his troops and heal. He has plenty of room to his healing cap. He could heal up to almost full HP if the game went to like a really long attrition, kind of grind. So we look around here, Bretonians do have a last stand here for the lady. We got some spears fighting, we got some bowmen fighting, we do have a damsel fighting as well. And Taco is going to be saying GG, well played to his opponent. And Lewin going in for the final death thrust. I mean, maybe. I mean, if he were able to kill Throg and get some really good cycle charging elsewhere and terror routes and things like that, but just so many spears coming in. Lewin's trapped. He's being clubbed by this troll. And Throg loves to go clubbing. He likes to throw down, listen to some Little John, but there goes King Lewin. Bretonian victory. Yeah, GG. It's a hard matchup. Famir with Great Opens are super good against Bretonnia. Like, Pegasus Knights, like, just get crumped by them. That was a great build by Randomix. Like, very solid, very durable, hard to deal with. So well played to those players, guys. And that's going to normalize the series. It's 1-1 here as we go into Game 3. So let's go ahead here and move on to the next game. And for the next map, we shall do the Ogham Shard, I think. No, actually, let's do Tower of Oath. Tower of Oath's a better map, I think. It's less dark. This game reminded me that 4 Pegasus Knights are legal. GG. Well played. Alright, guys. Throg's pretty powerful. Oh, he's your favorite lord, huh? Throg likes to go clubbing. Man of the memes, I know. To crush the peasants, see the knights driven before you, and hear the lamentation of their prophetess. That was pretty good. I like that. What faction did I ban so far? I don't know. Okay, Taco's got it. Single bans here. From here on out. Cool. So now it's single bans. Yeah, Pegasus Knights in Total War Warhammer 1 were better because they all charged the target much more efficiently. It was kind of like a sniping thing. Mr. Grabar, if you join the tournament Discord, you can grab people to play with if you're looking for practice. Loop 4X, thanks, man. Appreciate the kind words. Appreciate the kind words. We're going hard. And yeah, this is going to be game 3. Excuse me, but it is best of 5, so it's going to keep going. No. New factions. So Randomix asking if you can play the same factions, but that's where it becomes a little bit more trying when you do get to a best of 5. It really stretches your scope of play, right? You're going to have a little bit more of a deep pool of factions to play with. Most people are good at probably 3 or 4 factions, which is generally enough to get you through a best of 5. But yeah, eventually, I mean, you may be forced onto weak picks if it does go to a rubber match. So he'll go Skaven and ban Tomb Kings. Or did he mean the reverse? It's a good ban, for sure. Skaven do have some problems with Tomb Kings, in my humble opinion. I think Tomb Kings have 2 really good builds against them. One of them's like a bum rush with Nagakara Horsemen and Chariots and just stuff. And the other one is a dreaded Bone Giant build. They've wronged us. I know. Dwarves are so cool. It's really cold here in California right now, actually. And satisfy the grudge. My favorite faction to play in competitive play right now is probably like Tomb Kings. But in general, my favorite factions are the Empire and Dwarves. In terms of like lore and stuff. Yeah. He bans TK. Taka's just missed it. Hi, let me see if I can read your name correctly. Hiya Hapla, thank you for the 5, man. Really appreciate the donation. I don't see a message of any sort, but nonetheless, really appreciate you, man. Hopefully you're enjoying these grand finals. Can you still play the faction if you lost with them? No, you can't. You can't play the same faction twice in a series. You can play them in the tournament, again, when you get to a new opponent, but you can't use the same faction against them. So Taco deciding here, Random Mix is going to go Skaven. And Flying Taco will have the chance to pick. He cannot pick Tomb Kings, but he can, go around there. Jake, well, certainly not cold by some European standards and, other areas of the world, but it's nippy by California standards, yeah. Generally, tournaments aren't really done of having the same factions play each other over and over. It's interesting because in like StarCraft and Warcraft, that's kind of how it is, right? You have like a Protoss player against a Zerg player. They play a best of 5, but like in StarCraft, for some reason, it's not like, it doesn't seem like weird watching that over and over. But in Warhammer, it's really not fun to watch the same matchup like, 3 times in a row, in my opinion. So I think how it is now is good. Yeah. That's just my 2 cents. Yeah, no, it's certainly not flops and t-shirt weather right now. You might be able to wear shorts if you had like a hoodie on or something. So, Chaos. Oh, are we going to see a Forsaken Rush, perhaps? Yeah, when it comes to 40k, I prefer Chaos. But when it comes to fantasy, I prefer like the good guys for the most part. Yeah, like the, well, quote-unquote good guys. Empire, Dwarfs, Yeah, Loremaster of Sotek did have a tournament where you bring the same army every game. He holds them every now and then. They're really fun, and it's a best of 1, no best of 3, and you just play one army. It's like a tabletop style, so it's like if you go to a tabletop tournament. But yeah, that's the closest thing. Jason, you're correct. Yeah. Yeah, in StarCraft the maps are pretty impactful for sure, so it really changes the build. Grabar, before the stream's over, we'll drop a Discord link once again. Yeah. Hey, you're welcome, Silver and Gold Investing. All day, man. All day. Good counter pick for sure, you think? I feel like Skaven aren't bad against Chaos. I feel like Skaven are just strong in general. Well, I mean, what can they do against Chaos? I mean, okay, so a defensive Skaven build with the Helped Abomination, Council Guard, Doom Wheel, things like that, like against Chaos Infantry, it can be pretty strong. I think going Gunline Skaven is a little bit risky against Chaos, like it's hard to defend. But, I mean, it can work. You could use Rattling Gunners. There's a multitude of ways you can go about this. The less bad guys, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty impressive. Like, I mean, I know Warhammer isn't the most balanced game in the world in multiplayer, but, like, on any given Sunday, right, like, a faction can beat, like, any faction, which is cool. Considering how many factions there are, it's a pretty well-balanced multiplayer scene. Of course, with rules put in place. Like if there were no tournament rules and army limits, it would be pretty bad. But like with the community's efforts plus, perpetual bouncing from CA, it's gotten pretty good. It's more balanced than Warhammer 40k, which is saying something. What do you think about 3k? 3k is cool if you're a campaign person, but I don't really. The time period doesn't interest me that much, and I prefer fantasy, science fiction, that kind of stuff. Yeah, there's definitely fewer factions in like Warcraft and StarCraft. If he goes full infantry, rats can shoot him all day long. Perhaps so, but I don't think he's going to go full infantry. There will probably be a bunch of Chaos Warhounds and Marauder Horsemen and things like that to be pressuring the rats. So picking Kolak against Skaven probably is not something you're going to see. It'll probably be Sartorial, the Ever Chicken, because he has really good missile resist and magic resist, which a lot of Skaven ranged weapons are magic damage and missile damage, so he basically takes nothing. He causes terror, he's unbreakable. It's usually like I would be willing to like 80% Sartorial. That would be my guess. What is the strongest faction without rules? Ooh, that's a good question. Probably like vampire counts are pretty awful without rules. Tomb Kings, like these factions that have like healing constructs and like healing single entities are really, really abusable. Like unbreakable stuff, yeah. I would say vampire counts are pretty bad. Because then they can bring like, oh my god, like 4 Vargulfs and just like goon you. Oh, it's like, there's a lot of obnoxious stuff. Spawn versus Skaven can work, Emu Warlord. Yeah, it's not bad. Like a spawn rush? You know what? I think you just raised a good point. I think we probably will see a spawn rush here. I think Flying Taco, I was about to say Flacco. As a matter of fact, in Flying Taco's honor after this, I'm going to go eat some tacos, I think. Yeah, and see, that's another thing. Jason raises a great point once again, Mr. Pig. That, like, the rules of engagement are like super necessary in multiplayer in this. Like that in some ways is like what holds it back from being like you know, it's hard to enforce it, right? Like with the nature of the map and the battlefield. Whereas in like StarCraft, you can run all you want, but eventually you'll get cornered and your opponent will take more resources. Like if you corner camp in StarCraft or Warcraft 3, your opponent will expand and outproduce you and eventually crush you. So you have to like go and fight kind of. Whereas in this, like there's not really an incentive if you're like corner camping to go out, right? Like there's no battlefield resources or anything like that. And as a matter of fact, I kind of had an idea about like maybe not having like capture points per se, but like, well, sort of, but basically like in the late game to like prevent corner camping and draw kiting, you have like an objective appear in the center where like if your opponent's like draw kiting you or just running in circles, you can go stand on it. And if you stand on it for like long enough, you win. So it forces your opponent in. I thought that would be a really cool metric. Like after like 15 minutes, it appears. Or like 19, like towards the end, whatever. And like whoever has more balance of power or objective power at that point, like who has held it longer, like then just wins the game. Because like, yeah, I had a game the other day where somebody draw kited me. I was playing, oh god, what was I playing? I think I was playing like Chaos or Greenskins, and I was Greenskins, and I had a double giant build against vampire counts. And I won the battle. I beat his army. Like all he had left was the Claw of Nagash. And like a really tattered group of Black Knights, and I had a massive balance of power advantage, but not enough for him to crumble. And he just like ran in circles for 20 minutes until the game was over. And I was like, oh man, like it made me think. Yeah, Sebastian, I mean, honestly, there's not too many good RTSs right now. I think Warhammer's and Total War series is up there in general. Yeah, so like the objective doesn't matter for the first 18 minutes of the game, but if you get to the 19-minute mark and somebody's draw kiting you, it just appears in the center and you can just go stand on it and get the win. Like that would be, I think that'd be nice. Because at that point, like, you know, the other person's had enough time to try and do their thing. Yeah. Yeah, it's tricky. So guys, here we are. In today's matchup, it's going to be Flying Taco and the Warriors of Chaos facing off against the Falskaven Horde. So for Taco in the front line, it's going to be Marauders. And yeah, you called it, man. It's going to be a spawn rush. So in total, we have spawn, probably the weird spawn. No weird spawn, actually. Probably, why give the Skaven a good high-value target, right? Sartorial the Ever Chicken with Final Transmutation. Up in the sky, we do also have Chaos Feral Mancores. And looks like it's just going to be Marauders in the front. So yeah, just a spawn bum rush, which is quite good against Skaven for sure. It's they can grind through the Skaven core. But here for Randomix, I really like his build as well. Take a look at this. Gutter Runners are very, very good against spawn. They can basically kite the spawn. They have good poison damage. They have good, you know, DPS against light armor. I love it. He's got a couple spears. Dual Skaven Assassin with Lord Skrolk. Clan Rats with spears and Rat Ogres. So a lot of his build is very heavily invested into the Gutter Runners, but it seems like he's pretty amply prepared for the spawn, but we'll see. I mean, it's still a lot of pressure to deal with. This is, okay. I felt like his army was a little bit light. On top of that, Flying Taco does have Warhounds and Marauder Horsemen. So he does have tools to actually chase down the Gutter Runners, unlike the first game. Or one of the games earlier in which he was facing off against the Kite. What matchup was that? Against the Lizardman Skink Kite. So here, Skrolk Daddy's coming in. Sartorial going to be dropping that sweet, sweet Final Transmutation. It looks like Libra Bubonicus going down as well in Sartorial, which does some good damage. And it looks like Sartorial's like trying to cast something, but he's having some problems. He's like, I'm too weak, Etiquette. I can't cast any longer. Anyways, all these guys are advancing. Marauders should be able to beat down the initial Skaven line, but so far, really good counterplay there. The Doggos are pushed off here. And why is there like, it looks like there's some like weird cast animation that's kind of like stuck on that guy. Let me make sure there's no like issues now. It looks like everything's good. So Libra Bubonicus actually does quite a bit of damage against Sartorial. He does have like 30% magic resist, but still 70% of Libra is still a lot of damage. So Chaos is going to be surging in, but the Warp Chicken's taking quite a bit of work. Spawn need to engage as well. They need to get their paws on something, but with all these like kiting units that these Skaven have, it's going to be hard. So horsemen and dogs going to be charging those Skaven slaves, and over here, oh, this is actually a nice pick. If these spawn can actually surround this assassin, that would be really, really big. So there are some rat ogres here. Looks like a manticore is going after the assassin with some spawn. So good picks here for Chaos. The assassin is going to have a really bad time fighting against a manticore. I mean, it can do damage back, but it's not necessarily a great situation. So the Chaos frontline engagement is underway. This is going to be a good side for the Skaven, though. You can see these rat ogres should easily crump these marauders with a little bit of rat support on the ground. Mirror Guard are fighting some Skaven slaves in the front line, and it looks like Skrulk has summoned some Plague Monks as well. So the Manticore is definitely doing good work going after the rat ogres here. Man, I missed a lot of his army in that intro breakdown here, but they're not all gutter runners. Some of them are gutter runners with poison, and I believe some of them are like Night Runner slingers and are regular gutter runners, so they are different unit types. So here we do have the Mirror Guard fighting as well, going against Skaven slaves. It looks like there's going to be some foul witchcraft going down over here. It looks like the piercing bolts, which does okay damage against these type of units. A little bit better against like blobs of infantry, but still not bad. So here in the pit fight, we have Sartorial going, and it looks like that was probably Skrulk's Rod of Corruption. Now, this is actually really scary for the Skaven. I would say in general, the Skaven are in a winning position. Chaos is being kind of kited in many areas, but here, this is like something that basically could just win Chaos the game. If they're able to just crump Skrulk here, take him out, Sartorial takes him out, like, that's really bad. Plus, he also loses this assassin. That's going to be not game blouses in the words of Dave Chappelle, but certainly not a good situation. So some spawners still piling in. It looks like getting kited a little bit, trying to get in there, but rat ogres are kind of holding them back. Marauder horsemen, nice little push there, but gutter runners are they're no slouches. These clan Eshin assassins here certainly going to be pretty good melee combat with their poison and their shurikens and ninja stars and things like that. But yeah, the bounce power is actually coming back towards the middle as Taco is able to get a couple clutch picks. He picks off Skrulk for the most part, so Skrulk is near death. He's wavering, he's terrified, probably going to get pushed off and killed here. And on top of that, on the far side, he is able to get that assassin, and he has a healthy manticore, so that's really, really big. And look at this. Look in the distance, guys. You can see these warhounds just like being chased by clan rats across the map, which is quite funny. Now, Skaven still have a ton of kiting elements, and the Chaos Army, oh, they still have the Mirror Guard, though. That's really, really actually bad for the Skaven. Mirror Guard have those silver shields, and they can just tank a lot of this gutter runner kind of slinger stuff, which is pretty scary. So here comes Sartorial, the Ever Chicken. Going to be going after the Rat Man. Honestly, though, at this point, just probably use the Marauder Horseman to chase off Skrulk and get the chicken to go elsewhere. And you can see here the Assassin with Slippery and Concealment Bombs trying to get away from the spawn, which is probably a good choice for him. Assassins don't have much armor. They only have 20 armor, so the high DPS of the spawn is certainly no joke. Chaos gets a nice little break here, but it looks like mostly just clan rats and just chaff. And yeah, it's kind of looking like Chaos is going to pull this game out. I feel like Skrulk going, the Assassin going, this other Assassin probably going to be dying to the spawn here, if not breaking and then just being chased off. And Sartorial has a nice little Goon Squad. A Mirror Guard are in great shape, and you can see here Taco is basically just going to be dropping and screening, so he's just going to be standing and eating those shots there. Rat's going for a bit of a alpha strike, trying to gang up on these Marauders here. Probably should be able to overwhelm them, but it's still a close game. But I just feel like Chaos is in a pretty good position right now as the Assassins and the other leadership assets of the Skaven, oh, that's some delicious water, are being taken out. So you can see here this Assassin not having a good time. He's about to lose some Rat Ogres as well in their entirety. The Spawn actually will do pretty well against Rat Ogres. Rat Ogres only have 30 armor. Spawn have 160 weapon strength. Good luck with that. So the Assassin's down. He doesn't want to let Skrulk come back, though. If Skrulk comes back, he could probably drop another Libra Bubonicus on Sartorial, which would be really punishing. Sartorial would take a lot of damage and be near death, which would give the Skaven another in this game. So making sure to keep the rat off the field is going to be quite huge, as these Rat Ogres are basically just circle beaten here. Just surrounded by Manticores and Spawn, and all sorts of scary stuff is afoot here. So down goes those Rat Ogres, just getting deleted by that mob of just warp disgustingness. The Skaven Assassin is back, and the Skaven still have some tools. I mean, they have a ton of slingers. But man, Taco's doing such a good job. He's basically running the Mirror Guard in front of these guys and just letting them eat all the shots, which is, you know, they are expensive, but that's what they're designed for. They're silver shielded. That's what they're all about. So basically, he's going to have to face tank the Skaven Slingers eventually. He still has a Manticore that's pretty healthy and some Hounds as well. So the Lord Skrulk has been officially feasted on. You can see this little filthy rat has met his end here at the Tower of Hoeth. Nobody will miss him probably. And over here you can see that, I mean, Skaven certainly not the sentimental types, but looks like Taco's going to be going in for a pretty aggressive engagement here. He rear charges with some Marauder Horsemen, and his Spawn are surging in as well. And I guess at this point it's just clan rats. Might as well just get in there and slap the base on those guys. And now, for the first time in the game, Chaos really far ahead. The rats, of course, have a couple elements around, and I really think that Randomix's build was great. It had solid answers against a ton of the stuff here, but letting Skrulk, well, not letting, but he didn't let that happen. It just happened. Obviously, his opponent forced it. Having Skrulk get isolated and captured and just taken out, plus the Assassins, overextending and just being hunted, like that was probably what lost him the game, in all honesty. Like his build was really good and his control was solid in many respects, but just Skrull going down was easily what cost him the game there. So the Chaos Marauders here, I know it sounds like a Captain Obvious statement. He lost his Lord, but it's just that plus the Assassins was really the turning point, because the Gutter Runner against the Spawn Rush, I think that's really, really good. So nice Searing Bolts right there. Going to be doing Searing Doom, doing some work against the Skaven. And now it looks like across the board, Rat Ogres, Clan Rats, everyone's kind of getting crumped a little bit. And Randomix is going to be withdrawing. So well played. Well played indeed. I loved his build. I did. Taco's build, of course, very aggressive. Good screening with the Mirror Guard and Marauders. Good mobile pressure. Double Manticore is really good. Yeah, it's a great build. Like a Gunline would struggle against this because of how wide it is. A Hell Pit defensive build might be pretty good here. Like with like halberds and spears and then like unbreakable troops. But even still, if you go halberd defensive build and Sartorial has final transmutation, he can really punish your blob pretty hard. So it's a tricky one. So Taco up 2-1 here in the finals, guys. Is he going to be our grand champion of the Thanksgiving Turin Open? We will find out. So for the next map here, let's do what do we want to do? Do the Ogam Shards. Ogam Shard's okay. Let's do a fast aggressive one. We just did a big one. Let's just do the Essence of Chaos and go hard. Remember, it's best of 5. Just in case, I've done that myself where I'm like, oh, GG, and I just leave and it's like a best of 5. Hello, Turin. Judging by how late I am to the stream, will it likely end soon? Titanic Tuna? It depends. If Flying Taco wins, it's over. But if Randomix wins, we'll go to another game. So you're pretty close to the end here. Yes, Ellie, I did like that build. So yeah, Tuna. Sorry you came in late, man. It's been a great run today. Really fluid, smooth tournament. Great sportsmanship. Good times. Good times for all. We'll see if the Taco is able to close out the series or if Randomix is going to do it to it. Wonder what they'll pick here. Taco's picked Bretonia. You know what's really interesting is we've seen like 0 elves today. I don't think we've seen Dark Elves, High Elves at all in any of the games we've casted. There probably were some earlier in the tournament, but no elves. We haven't seen any Empire, actually. I'm surprised. I feel like Empire is like a pretty solid pick. Granted, maybe the players just aren't, Empire dudes, but yeah. Very interesting stuff. I see people in chat saying they want elves. That's a first. Usually it's like, oh god, another Dark Elf game, please. Dark Elves are just such a good faction. They just bring so much to the table. How good are Treekin versus Lizardmen? Not very good, in my opinion. Yeah. Not very good. So Taco is thinking. I'll tell him, no rush, brother. A Hulk Hogan voice. So Taco's going to pick Lizardmen, which is pretty good on this map. Like if you play a powder build or a missile build, like you can get there pretty quick based on the nature of the map. Yeah, we did see a high elf build earlier, didn't we? Titanic Tuna, you can rewind, and I can tell you there were some very, very good games in the earlier matches. Very, very good games. Dov weeps at the lack of Empire. He probably would. Empire is a great faction. A little bit tricky to play, but I mean, if you play him enough, you'll get everything down and be familiar. Yeah, I think we saw Avalorn. Yeah, we did see Avalorn. Yeah, I think that's you're right. You're right, Valnir. That was one of the only ones. Yeah, not too many elves though. We'll see. Maybe Randomix will come out with an elf pick. Randomix says no. Just Darth Vader from the prequels. No. Just the bellowing no. He probably doesn't have a faction that he's comfortable with against Lizardmen. We'll see. This is where you just go out of left field and you just go super ham. Yeah, Avalorn's really strong. They're really strong. Just having Dryads is so nice for high elves. Oh. It gives them like something in between Spearmen and like more elite high elf troops that's like super cost effective. Triads are a really good infantry unit. And he bans Tomb Kings. So yeah, Tomb Kings are really good against lizards. They're heavily favored, in my opinion. You shop your Great Bows, just Shrek lizards. Tomb Scorpions kill the Saurus. It's just like, it's really rough. Yeah, Daniel, it's not a bad build. Spamming Dragon Princes and Archers in campaign. I mean, Archer spam is really common. If you watch like really good campaign players, they play High Elves, they usually just have like a million Sisters of Avalorn. You killed her in your anger. Oh. Yeah, it's pretty good. Don't look at me like that, Wookie. I fed you a piece of ham today. A nice juicy one. I cooked it. You know, just no respect from that dog. The Star Wars prequels are just masterpieces. It's so funny how time changes perception of things, you know? John Doe says he laughed in the theater when he did that. Yeah, it was a little like corny, like, you know. I mean, it's still kind of like a tragic moment, but I don't know, yeah. Oh, we do get elves. Randomix gonna play Wood Elves, so that means we're gonna see like probably Way Watchers, although it'd be really cool if Randomix went with like a Durthu with a Forest Dragon. Durthu double Forest Dragon rush. Oh my god. That would be so metal. I don't know how well it would work actually. Because like a lot of people overcompensate for Way Watchers, so you can like do stuff like that and catch them off guard. Yeah, I know the High Elf campaign becomes so easy when you get Sisters. It's just like you just mow down everything with the upgrades and like chevrons. Yeah, honestly, for Lariel, you probably run like in the campaign, you probably run her, a couple like characters, and then you just run like maybe 2 like tar pit units, and then you just have a million Sisters, just take everything out. Oh man. I am ready to feast, my friends. Oh. Oh yeah, we got Thanksgiving this week here. Mr. Pig, they might have been masterpieces, but they're our generation's masterpieces. Very true. Oh my god, the Star Wars prequels. You know, when they first came out, I enjoyed them. I was pretty young, so like I wasn't like. And then as I grew older, I appreciated the Star Wars prequels more because number one, the campiness of them is so fun, and number two, how bad the most recent Star Wars movies are really like drew a contrast to you. Like, you know, those weren't as bad as you really think. You know, like the Last Jedi and like, oh my god, it was so bad. I'm so disappointed in those movies. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. He's going Wood Elves. This is a close quarters map, so I mean it's very close quarters. So Wood Elves like kite might not have a lot of room to kite here. Well, he'll have a little bit, I suppose. There's a couple like little patches of trees, but I would imagine he might just have a well-rounded build, right? Like Dryads, Eternal Guard, Archer, like Blade Guard. I feel like builds like that are pretty underrated. Like old school Wood Elf builds that are just like spears and bows. The Last Jedi makes everything look good. Oh, Mr. Pig, Jason, you still have a Phantom Menace shirt from when it came out? Oh. It's in your closet now, dude. You know, of all the new Star Wars movies that have come so far, I think Rogue One was probably the better of them. Like that scene with Darth Vader at the end. Oh my god, Darth Vader at the end of Rogue One, like it was so cool. Oh man. And then what else was I gonna say? Yeah, you know, it's like that's how you like do fan service to an old character. Not like what they did with Luke Skywalker. God, that pissed me off. Anyways, yeah, I don't want to get into a rant about it because it'll just go on forever. Is it okay if I've never seen it? Yeah, it's totally fine, Brian. Yeah. No, Tropic Thunder, you're right. The prequels are not like masterpieces of cinema. And a lot of it is a nostalgia factor because it's like our childhoods, right? We watched that. But, you know, I enjoyed the prequels more than I enjoyed, you know, The Last Jedi. I didn't see the last Rambo movie, actually. Yeah. Knights of the Old Republic? Yeah, I played that when I was young. I didn't put a lot of hours into it. Yeah, Rogue One was good. Oh my god, that Darth Vader scene was so good. So good. Like the characters, I had a lot of fun with Donnie Yen too in Rogue One. Like I'm a big fan of Donnie Yen movies. He's a Chinese actor, and yeah, I really liked him as like kind of the Jedi monk type character. No rants. I heard Mandalorian was quite good. I'm excited for that. I'm easy to please, guys, when it comes to movies. I'm telling you, like, I love Steven Seagal movies. I love Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. Like, I'm talking like the new bad ones. Like, I am a fan of just campy action. I have very low standards when it comes to like being entertained by movies. And I didn't enjoy the Last Jedi. You know? Yeah, my benchmark's pretty low for that stuff. So guys, we're going to be on our last game potentially here. Flying Taco up 2-1 here in the finals. Oh, and the Dread Saurian comes. Oh yes, Flying Taco, what a hero. So, for this build, he's going to be playing Lizards. He's going to be facing off against Randomix, who's down 2-1 right here. Randomix coming out with a huge meme build in Glade 1. Game 1. Glade 1, you guys get it? Wood Elves, Glade, Game, Glade. Okay, that's terrible. But nonetheless, coming in with Wood Elves. So, for the forces of the Lizards, front line's going to be a combination of Skinks, and it looks like just a cohort of Sotek. We have Jabba the Hutt back here. Mazdamundi, of course, does have some pretty good missile resist with his aura. He has the Sunburst standard of Hexawaddle, so he gives missile resist to all nearby troops. A Dread Saurian, an Ancient Salamander, it looks like, and yeah, Kroxigor Smash as well. Colden Riders, it looks like, on the far side. So, for the forces of the Wood Elves, Dryads are actually pretty good here. Dryads will beat down the Skinks very effectively. They have high DPS. Physical resist is quite nice as well. Of course, Kroxigors will spank them, but yeah, anyways here. So for the Archers, he has a combination of Starfire, Shafts, and Hagbane Tips. Interesting stuff. So, like, he's not really being punished for the small map because, like, they're going to be in range instantly. Like, it's great. And, yeah, I like this. It's really going to be, can he defend it? Because all those Archers should be able to put some serious hurt on Kroxigors and the Dread Saurian and things like that. So we'll see how he plays. He does also have a Glade Lord with Prey of Anathema and a Branch Wraith with Earthblood and Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma. It's going to be good, guys. I'm excited for this. This is a really cool map. I love the particle effects in the back, like the big burning Beastman Pyre. Yeah, it's really cool. And here we go. Are the Glade Guard going to be able to guard the Glade and drag down the invaders, which is a very strange situation to see Lizardmen here. But guys, I mean, it's pretty hard to root against the dreaded Dread Saurian. It's not the Shredder of Lustria, so it's not the ultimate meme, but yeah, I mean, the buffs recently to the Dread Saurians actually made them not a terrible pick. I think he brought the Dread Saurian thinking that his opponent would rush him with infantry, and if that is the case, the Dread Saurian will be great, obviously. But against like a true Kiter missile builds, it's very risky, but man, this is crazy. I don't know. Both builds are pretty cool. The only thing that could have made this Wood Elf build cooler would be Mel Gibson. So the rush is on. So you can see here that the Dryad's going to be intercepting the little Skink boys. Refuse to Die has been popped here by Flying Taco, so the Skinks aren't going to be taking too many casualties, but it's going to be really important here for Randomix to make sure that his missile focus is like top notch. He needs to make sure to shoot Kroxigors, to shoot other big threats. Ooh, but the Ancient Salamander dropping some bows right here on this Glade Guard with Starfire Shafts, but the Archers are going to be turning about face, and it looks like they're going to ignore the Dread Saurian for now and go after the Ancient Salamander. So Prey of Anathema hasn't been used yet, but now the Kroxigors and the Dread Saurian just surging through the front line, Pendulum going down as well, doing some decent damage to the Skinks, it looks like. But there were Spears in reserve, so it looks like some Eternal Guard will be intercepting the Sacred Kroxigors. Oh man, but a lot of missile pressure coming in. Those Kroxigors probably going to get melted pretty fast. Now over here, it looks like Randomix's forces are all doing well. He's like holding back pressure on a multitude of fronts, but if Flying Taco is able to get these Coldland Riders here and here, fan them up and around and get into this Archer line, there is like nothing back here protecting this. Like, he just needs to get something back there and he'll be in good shape. But nonetheless, those Kroxigors getting taken to task. Man, so much missile damage coming in. But now there's still the dreaded Dread Saurian, so it looks like the missiles going to be switching on to Jabba. Jabba does have decent missile resist, and now the Cav are going to get back here. So Flying Taco get some Coldland Riders back here, and Glade Guard have pretty terrible combat stats. I mean, 2027 isn't the worst, so they might get some kills, and it looks like some Eternal Guard are going to be falling back as well. Arrow of Kurnus going after those Cav, picking off a couple models. Yeah, let's see where the missiles are focusing now. So it looks like some more Sacred Kroxigors have gotten back here. They're going to be taking a lot of focus fire here from the Glade Guard with the Starfire Shafts. Eternal Guard, of course, here as well. And Net of Amnitok being used by Jabba the Hutt. So guys, as far as the balance of power goes, it's certainly in the favor of the Wood Elves right now. It looks like Randomix's Glade Guard build is doing a really good job pushing back like this entire flank, and oh, this is nice. So it's a bit of a microcosm here. If you guys take a look here, if all of these archers fall back here and are able to screen and take out these Colden Riders, that means Randomix is going to be able to retreat from this position, get a huge firing concave with his archers, and be in good shape. Granted, there are some skinks coming back in, so maybe they're going to shut down that play. But nonetheless, Jabba's in a bit of trouble. You know, I guess if you bring enough archers, you can't stop them all here. And you can see the Dread Saurian's trying its best, but I mean, a lot of Glade Guard with Starfire Shafts and missile units will certainly be very, very good against the Dread Saurian. And it's going to be a tough one to come back from here for Flying Taco. He's certainly on the ropes. And in that case, guys, it looks like we're maybe going to be going to a Game 5. Incredibly awesome. So the Dread Saurian trying to tear these guys up. As far as skills, he's gotten 63. There's still a fair amount of Dryads and Spears. In the distance, it looks like Randomix accidentally chased off the battlefield with some Dryads. They just ran to the Shadow Realm. So when they get back there, that would be quite nice. But good play here by Taco, staying scrappy. He does have Skinks and a bunch of other troops here swarming onto the Glade Guard. But the Dread Saurian is going to be a pretty choice target. Jabba the Hutt gets slapped with the Pravenoth Rayma, lowering his missile resist, and now a ton of focus fires coming in. Oh, some Rampaging Croxagors getting a nice dive there. Should be able to shut down those Glade Guard, but he's paying the Hutt toll. He's paying the Hutt toll. Our arrows will blot out his side. Very much so. So Branch Wraith in a little bit of trouble. Dread Saurian might be able to get a kill or break off that Branch Wraith, which would be a pretty nice pick here. But for the most part, Wood Elves are stabilizing in so many areas of the battlefield. They have a full health group of Dryads coming back. Some pretty heavy pressure in the back line, but the crossfire coming in, having all of his archers like split up like this, means he's going to be able to get some substantial crossfire and do some work. So Jabba's tanking. He's trying his best. Branch Wraith here, getting chased by the Dread Saurian. Dread Saurian up to 72 kills, so it looks like Howda on the back doing some work. Wookiee growling at Anna as she walks by. Oh. He startled Wookiee a little bit. Yeah, he's a terror in the night. Nonetheless, though, Branch Wraith does overcast and Earthblood, takes a little bit of damage on the overcast here. But yeah, I mean, Jabba's just being focused down. Wood Elves don't really have too much pressure at this point. And guys, that's going to be a pretty solid win there for Randomix with his Glade Guard Shaft build. We'll call it the Shaft build for now. And yeah, I don't know. The Dread Saurian's going to try its best. It's going to Lincoln Park, try so hard and get so far, but in the end, it might need a Branch Wraith, but that's pretty much it. So here we have a Glade Guard here, a Glade Lord. Pravenoth Rayma still active, I'm sure. He probably has another charge, I would imagine, although he might have used all the charges. I can't quite remember. Mazdamundi here, moving away on his mobility scooter. Basically, Flying Taco at this point is just trying to buy some time, maybe to get some heals and Apotheosis and keep things going. Maybe, you know, juke with the Dread Saurian, pick things off, but that's going to be army losses right there. As Randomix and his Shaft build are able to take that victory. Man, I was not expecting that. I really thought that Archer line would be compromised harder, but I guess the amount of punch they kicked out was really, really good. We need more Wookiee. I know, he's here. He's being nice to Anna. He just doesn't like me right now. Yeah, that was a lot of Glade Guard. So yeah, there's Starfire Shafts, Hagbane Tips. This is like old school Wood Elves, right? No mobility, just, well, I mean, Wood Elves are always mobile, but I don't mean no mobility. I mean, just using Starfire Shafts, Spears, and like Dryads, right? That's like Warhammer 1 Wood Elves. All right, so that's going to be 2-2, guys, and we're going to a rubber match. We're going to Game 5. With the last map led us to the Sword of Torgold. One of my favorite maps, actually. Is it the Sword of Torgold or is it Sword of Torgold? I think it's just Sword. Yeah. One sec, guys. I'll be right back in just a minute. Yeah, the Dread Saurian was a bold pick, but I think he brought the Dread Saurian either as a meme or because he thought there was going to be a Wood Elf rush with like Durthu or something, and because it's a small map, so bringing like archers are a little bit risky, you know, like Waywatcher type archers. But I think that really caught him off guard there. So they're asking about their picks and bans. Okay, players are working it out now. Is 8 units of Graveguard allowed? I'm not sure. I'd have to look at the rule sheet, David. Yeah, I don't have it in front of me. I'd have to like minimize and pull it up in a different. Today we're actually, I'm helping Aerocrastic experiment with his rules right now. So we're using the Warhammer banner rules, but they're very similar. They just have a couple minor nuances that are different. Yeah. We're using the banner rules, which have been great so far. I've been digging them. We've gotten a lot of good feedback, I think. I would imagine. Yeah, and even if the 8 Glade Guard weren't legal, you could basically just bring the Starfire Shafts and then some Deepwood Scouts, and you'd get something pretty similar. There was some shafting that game. There was some shafting for sure. The Lizards going... Oh, Randomix is finally getting on his Tomb Kings. Oh, is he going to play Tomb Kings? That was exciting. Okay, Randomix says, I'm going to go with the Tomb Kings ban. I'm going to go TK ban. Is he saying he's banning Tomb Kings? Not sure. You ban Tomb Kings of Skaven. Yeah. Yeah, we'll let him know. They'll work it out. Guys, we're here in Game 5. It's been quite a day of competition. Quite a day. Graveguard aren't like a super oppressive unit, though. I don't think it's something you need to like worry about limiting, to be honest. Oh, he's going Tomb Kings and banning. Okay, so Randomix is going Tomb Kings. What's he going to ban here? What would I ban as Tomb Kings? I don't know. Maybe like... I think Taco already played Norska, though. I can't quite remember. There's been so many games. What is he gonna pick? You could cut the tension with a knife. Oh, and he bans vampire counts. Oh. And Taco... Okay, so Taco must not have gone Norska here. Where do we see Norska? No, Norska was played by Randomix earlier. Yeah, I don't think Taco's played Norska yet. Yeah, that's smart. Randomix banned vampire counts because he probably saw earlier the vampire count play and was like, I don't want to deal with that. Okay, so it's going to be Norska versus Tomb Kings. Man, almost no... at least we got some elf representation here today. We got some wood elf. Well, Tomb Kings are a very safe faction. They don't have too many bad matchups. They can like compete with anyone. Tomb Kings are like solid. They're a really, really solid faction. They're usually like my first pick when I play in tournaments and things like that. Randomix says BRB. And we'll get things going. Oh. Yeah, Way Watchers are capped at 3. You could take 3 Way Watchers and 8 Glade Guard. Yeah, you could. John Joe wanted the dreaded Black Coach. I know. The Black Coach is pretty good. Not so much against Tomb Kings. You don't really... like you're paying a premium for like a mobile terror-causing unit. And like Tomb King's infantry isn't that high value anyways. So... Wood Elves are pretty good. Wood Elves are a good faction. Yeah. They're solid. Thank you guys all so much for joining today. It's been a really fun day. I've been up since 7 a.m. today, which is pretty early by my standards. Running this awesome tournament. Great players across the board. Great admins. It's been awesome. It's been fun, guys. And here we are in the glorious rubber match to culminate this this weekend. Man, it's probably getting pretty late over in Europe. Sorry about that, guys. I tried to start early, but there's only so much you can do, and all the games are close and back and forth. What do you think would be the most competitive Warhammer that we could get? What do you think would be the most... What do you mean, Sebastian? Like, in what sense? You mean, like, in terms of, like, becoming a big esport or, like, you know... Yeah, not really sure what you mean, brother. Let me know. Oh, man, I'm craving a burrito right now. Just a fat burrito with, like, guacamole. Some fajitas. Doesn't that sound good, guys? Although, you know, it'd be really nice to be some pierogi. Oh, yes, pierogi. Yeah, 7 a.m. sucks. Well, that's one of the reasons. At my old job, I used to have to regularly get up at like 5 and 6 a.m. for like events and things like that. But this, being a YouTuber, is... Dude, the audience... Emu Warlord, the audience is always great. I don't even need... That goes without saying. What's my favorite faction? In lore, it's Empire and Dwarves. I love playing Empire 2 in multiplayer. I'm not the best at them, but... in competitive play, probably Tomb Kings right now. This is one of my stronger ones. Yeah. I need to branch out, though. I need to come up with builds. I used to love playing Beastmen and Chaos. Those were like some of my favorites back in Warhammer 1, but... In your opinion, best and worst matchup for Chaos? I'd say the worst matchup for Chaos is Vampire Counts. It's not as bad as it used to be, but it still sucks pretty bad. Like, Vampire Counts is a hard matchup for them. The best matchup for Chaos would probably be... Oh man, I need to look at the faction list right now. Who's Chaos really good against? I feel like Chaos has like a lot of okay matchups. They don't have any that they just like dumpster people. Let's see. So as far as elf factions, Chaos versus Dark Elves kind of is like a hard one. Chaos versus High Elves. Chaos does okay against High Elves actually. But still, it's not the best. Chaos versus Wood Elves. Chaos is pretty damn good against Dwarves, I think. Empanadas are great. Oh, hell yeah. I mean, fair competitive games without cheese and without stream snipe. Well, we've had pretty good luck with that, Sebastian, so far. I mean, it happens every now and then, but there's nothing you can really do. Like, even if somebody's hosting, like, a Warcraft 3 or a StarCraft 2 tournament or whatever, like, they're going to often stream it, and the players could minimize and have it on a second screen and see what's, you know, it's like, there's only so much you can do about that, really. Mr. Sauce says, thank you for the chance to play Turin. So happy I have a chance to compete. Dude, you've been doing great, man. You got pretty far in the tournament today. Yeah. Cheers, man. More tournaments to come. I'll be hosting them. My best faction? Probably Tomb Kings right now. Yeah. They're just really good. What matchups are good to bring a High Elf Infantry army? Going really wide with High Elf Infantry against Dwarves isn't bad. Yeah, you could do that. I mean, but a lot of High Elf Infantry builds like could be like a box with archers in it. That's something you see every now and then against like rush builds, so yeah. But Dwarves, against rush builds, it can be okay to like temple guard it up with like a couple like sisters and archers and things like that. What faction do you think is the least competitive? Bretonnia and... Probably Bretonnia. Yeah, I think Bretonnia is the least competitive, probably. But they still have some good matchups. But Bretonnia also has some really hard matchups. They really do struggle with single entities. It's always like an uphill battle, in my opinion. Says, Random Mix is ready. Flying Taco says, 1 second. This is it. This is for all the marbles here, guys. The dog sprinting around the kitchen. No, I never played Total War Arena. It didn't really call to me. I'm not a big fan of like the wargaming archetype as much. Like the, you know, World of Tanks, like all that kind of stuff. Like, and their style of games. Although it seems kind of cool, but... Yeah, and for anyone wondering, Aerocrastic in chat just linked a link to the rules for the tournament. So if anybody wants to kind of pick through those and, you know, maybe someday playing these, yeah. It's open to anyone. My tournaments are all open now, so there will be invitationals every now and then for like, you know, certain events. But in general, they're mostly all going to be open, which I think it's better now that we've kind of fleshed out everything. Yeah, I want to get good at... I need to get a little bit better at more factions. I mean, I'm Greenskins and Tomb Kings are probably my best factions, I would say. Maybe? I don't know, though. No. I don't even know. I'm like a jack of all trades with the exception of like Tomb Kings and Vampire Coast, unfortunately. What would be a good faction for getting into multiplayer? Cameron? I'd recommend Lizardmen. Lizardmen are pretty forgiving. They have a lot of fun units and they also have a pretty high skill cap as well. Lizardmen are very, very good. So are Tomb Kings. Tomb Kings are very strong. They're balanced. I don't think Tomb Kings are like OP, but they have really good lords. Arc in the Black is insanely powerful. Cetra is really good. They're very durable. They have unbreakable, cheap infantry, great constructs, like great monsters. Like Tomb Kings are just good. Nadakar Horsemen are really good. Like they have like all the strengths of like, you know, a powerhouse aggressive faction with like great mobility, great archers. Like they just have like everything. Spirit of Gorg, thank you for the big old 2, man. €2 there. Sponsoring 1 pierogi. Dude, that'll buy me a pierogi. The ones I buy from my local market are like $4.99, so that's like getting me almost there for a whole pack. Not just one. So getting into multiplayer, honestly, I would recommend joining some of the multiplayer communities. Like my tournament Discord, there's a bunch of great ones. I know Aerocrastic has a community that's really great. The Total War dedicated one that's run by really awesome people like Shetland Apache and Pippington. They do a great job over there. Like joining these communities and finding people to play in those communities is a much more fluid experience than playing on ladder. Just finding people to play with that are like-minded, they're good sports. You're not going to deal with any nonsense. And you know you're playing against a good player, so you're not going to get like wasted games. Ladder is good, and I do think it's a fun thing to do every now and then, but really joining these communities is like very, very solid. Yeah. I miss old days where everyone went with vampire counts in turn, just crashed with the scene with the boys. Dude, we're still doing it, Misha. I mean, I lost the other day with them, but against Falcon, but of course it's Falcon, so that makes sense. All right, guys. So here we are in the grand finals of the second Turin Open, the Thanksgiving special edition. It's going to be Flying Taco. The name itself making me hungry. I would like a taco to fly into my mouth right now. And he's going to be facing off against the Tomb Kings, who shall be led by Randomix. Oh, Randomix with the double dreaded Bone Giant. Oh, I love this build. So we have Cetra the Imperishable. The Bone Giants, of course, insane bonus versus large on their shafts. And if they're able to sit and shoot at Famir, they will put them down. On top of that, though, he's got Skeleton Spearmen, mainly like Chaff Infantry, a couple Tomb Guard mixed in. It looks like, oh no, actually Kepler Guard. So good infantry quality for the Tomb Kings, actually. So, I mean, it's a pretty small elite army for sure. He does also have the Eyes of the Desert, who've been making a bit of a comeback. Anti-large, armor piercing, relatively mobile with 50 speed. And yeah, not bad against like Famir and Skin Wolves and things like that. So the dreaded double Bone Giant build. I love Bone Giants. They're such a cool unit. Oh, man. Yeah. Oh, this is going to be good. Yeah, Zero is correct. And Zero is the gentleman who put up some great games earlier, had a really good showing in the tournament today. And yes, ladder is a dumpster fire for sure. The best way to like improve is to honestly just find people in these Discords to play with. And there's plenty of people who want to train and practice, and they're good people. So for the Forces of Flying Taco, he's got a couple doggos, the Beast of Tashnar, Berserkers in the front line. So he does have the infantry to match the infantry of the Tomb Kings. Berserkers very effective against these Bone Daddies. He's got a couple of Famir with Grey Opens who are certainly going to be cannon fodder for the Bone Giants, I would imagine. On top of that, we have a Famir Balefiend to fire. And it looks like Throg, yeah, it's a good build. Famir, of course, if they can get on top of the Bone Giants, will like take them out very, very effectively. So basically, Norska needs to get the Marauder Berserkers and just cut through these guys and then get onto those big single entities with his Famir. But again, the Bone Daddies could do some serious work. And if the Bone Giants just take out these Famir before they can do much, then suddenly, Cetra is going to be going ham. Even the Bone Giants will be hard to kill for the Berserkers and troops like that. So the Bone Giants are such cool units. Oh my god, look at those guys. Just drawing their shafts, taking some pot shots and missing those Miststalkers, who I guess are very sneaky. But the Norscan Bull Rush is going to be strong. Berserkers are relatively high leadership, hard to break units. They're going to get in there and do some work. Oh no, a bit of a misplay here potentially. Cetra overextending, and Throg has Frostbite, guys. Oh no, Randomix could have screwed the pooch here, as he might not be able to get away super effectively. He's just going to be getting swarmed. So at this point, I think Randomix needs to like start moving some spears over there to get some help, because that is a pretty bad situation. Or he gets the Bone Giants and start focusing these Famir, or pulls the Eyes of the Desert, because Cetra is getting taken to Pound Town by Throg. But it looks like he might be able to get away. He's turning. Yeah, and you can see now one of the Bone Giants has turned about face. Burning Skull going down as well, roasting the Kepler Guard. So much value for Flying Taco out of the gates here. And you can see the Tomb King's front line having a really bad time against Norska. And this pick over here, extremely punishing. Losing Cetra would be absolutely disastrous. So now he's got some carrying coming in, and it looks like his reinforcements are going to be cut off as these Norscan Spearmen on the flanks sweep up and around and stop the approach here of the Tomb King's reinforcements. But Cetra might be able to get away. It's still a close battle, slightly favored for Norska as far as the bounce of power goes. And the supporting elements here in the front, the Famir, are just crumping these Skeleton Spearmen. And now the Berserker Corps will be soon getting into the back. And Eyes of Desert, are tanky, but still, they're not meant to be fighting these type of troops. Yes, they're okay against Famir, but with Berserker saturation, it's going to be pretty bad, and they'll be losing models very quickly. So the Great Bows here, not Great Bows, but the Ushopti. God damn it, they're not Ushopti. The Bone Giants. The Bone Giants are shooting in against Throg, and they've actually done some huge damage, kind of normalizing the equation as it pertains to the leadership fight. Cetra going to be turning about face and going after the Famir with Great Opens, and he does have Narrows, Incantation, and Protection, which will be helpful. And a nice Ushopti summon's going to be coming down from Randomix, which is a very, very good spot for that, giving Cetra that buffering. Bone Giants shooting Cetra in the back a little bit, which not the best situation there. But these Premier might just straight up get broken. Oh, those Bone Giant shafts doing so much damage. Both players just back and forth scrapping here. However, guys, the front line for the Tomb Kings will eventually get worn down here, and the Berserkers will come back here, and the Bone Giants may soon have to pay the Troll Toll. So really, the Tomb Kings here in Random Mix need to get some value, and Taco, it's only a matter of time. If he can just kind of endure, get into the back line with his Berserkers and his Famir once he breaks the Eyes of the Desert here and these Spears, he's going to be in a great situation. So, Famir Warriors here are broken. Carrion can easily chase him off the battlefield. At this point, Cetra gooning Throg is probably a good bet. Just putting these guys in guard mode to make sure they keep shooting and just try and goon out Throg or other things like that, because now it's going to get a little bit messy as the Norskins do get into the back line. Nice Burning Skull right there. Going to be finishing off the last of those Skeleton Spearmen. They just get eviscerated by that Burning Skull. Oh my god. And yeah, Cetra's, you know, he's doing his thing, but guys, the balance of power is pretty solidly in the favor of Norska. The Kepra Guard getting roasted, and that's why whenever I play Tomb Kings, I don't really like bringing expensive infantry against Norska because they just get annihilated by the Burning Skulls and the Berserkers. I usually just like to target them with chaff and use like Tomb Scorpions and things like that. But I love the double dreaded Bone Giant. It was actually really strong, but I think a big part of it was Cetra getting caught in a bit of an awkward position. But still, I mean, it's a game it's still close, but I just don't see how the Bone Giants are going to generate value now that they're like fully surrounded. The Ushabti Summon's gone. The Carrion tried to chase off those Misthawkers there, but it looks like Flying Taco is pulling ahead in this game as the forces of the Norse here. Throg just taking Cetra to town. I mean, Throg's been such an ace this tournament. A couple people in chat were like, hey, we never see Throg, and then Throg appears in the tournament, steel chairs several lords over the course of it all, and yeah, just doing a great job. So Throg going to be piling in here to fight Cetra. The Blessed Blade of Petra active, which, you know, does give Cetra fire damage, which means he can hit Throg incredibly hard if he makes contact. But let's go ahead and take a look if he has. Looks like 1900 HP on him. Throg has not been hit. The surrounded the spears, the buffering of all these units, definitely very, very good. And Throg just tanking like an absolute Troll King. And guys, it looks like controversial stuff. Not really controversial, it's just fun to say that. It looks like this battle is going to be going to the Norskins, as the Bone Giants, though they did good, are not going to be able to survive a tide of Famir with great weapons and just like tar-pitting infantry. And the Troll King coming in. Flying Taco is going to be the victor of today's Turin Open #2, Thanksgiving edition, as there's simply no way that Cetra is going to be able to do this here. I mean, normally, obviously, you're like, yeah, calling the game early. No, it's over, guys. And you can see the Famir piling in. The Troll King is going to make Cetra serve. Today, Cetra serves the King of Trolls as he karate kicks that construct, and Cetra is trampled in the dirt by Throg. Man, what a game. Well played to both of those players there. I love the dreaded double Bone Giant. But the Norskin front line, the persistence of that was just so solid. He was able to push through, and Flying Taco is going to be our champion for today. But Random Mix with great games. Bringing it to a rubber match, amazing performances across the board by Random. But yeah, man, it really just came down to that. GG's to the Taco King. I will now eat a taco in his honor. So let's go ahead and update the scoreboard here. Flying Taco. Boom. Then we shall go to the brackets for the day. Challenge capture. Oh, that's the map pool. So yeah, we'll report the score here. So we shall report the score in challenge. I don't remember the order in which the games best of 5. Yeah, we need to unlock that. How many sets do we have here? We should have 5 now. Okay. So we'll just go 1, 1, 1, 1, and submit scores. I don't remember if it was that exact order, but close enough. So guys, Flying Taco is going to be the champion of the Thanksgiving edition. My challenge page is crashing. Oh no, it's happening here. Yeah, and he's going to be pulling it home. That was intense. Misha Wicked, thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome. Thanks for the stream. Congrats to Taco. Commiserations to the Random. I know. Great performance. So of course in today's finals we had Zero playing against Random Mix, a really good series. Zero had some solid games as well earlier with a 2-0 victory over A-Move, also beating Ark in the Black in the first round. Really, really good performance by Zero. Random Mix is, of course, got to the finals. Great 2-1 victory here. A 3-2 in the finals. Random, just an absolute beast. And Taco with the 2-1 over Imperator, who's an extremely good player. So, man, just a true testament to the skill of these guys. And hopefully you guys enjoyed that. It was fun, right? We had a good time. It's good times for all. So, on that note, guys, thank you so much for joining. Hopefully you enjoyed this Turin Ament. That's really what I should have called it. But, you know, it's too late. I don't want to go back now. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this tournament. As far as the builds go, great build here by Taco. Had the infantry sustainability, just needed to endure, grind down the Tomb Guard, get on top of the Bone Giants. But typically with Tomb Kings, you see like the double Tomb Scorpion thing. But yeah, the Bone Giants, I think, had some power for sure. For sure, they can do some work. They're no joke. But I think that Setcher the Imperishable getting caught was a little bit disastrous for sure. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining. Again, good times all around. Special thanks to some folks for some very generous donations to the Spirit of Gorg, Hia Hapla, Calamar Cinderpaw, Sir Junkin the Chal, Garrett Bailey, Austin Harath, Garland Green, coming in as always. Thank you so much. Manuel E. Lopez, Mikkel Jorgensen, Weird Vids, and Mr. Jorgensen once again. Thank you guys so much for your donations. I really appreciate it. Keeps the Wookiee fed. And yeah. And again, thanks to the mods for helping out today. Aerocrastic and Wicked in Discord, just answering questions for folks in the tournament, helping me resolve any issues. And all the mods here on the YouTube channel. Appreciate you guys. Misha, Wicked, all of you guys coming in with the steel chair as always. And yeah, and again, special thanks to the players and all of you guys for just joining, watching, liking, spending your afternoon with me. And from there, guys, we'll be seeing you. The site we're using is called challenge.com. It's a great website. It's I'll show you real quick. So basically, yeah, it's oh, yeah, that's right. I have like the top kind of cut. So if you go up here, you can see it's challenge.com. You can host tournaments. It does the brackets for you. Basically, you just have to like list, like, it's really nice for tournament play. Yeah. Cringe for the light god. Yeah. Yeah. Cringes for the light god. I hate asking for likes. It's like the worst thing. Oh. But yeah, you got to do it. It's the job. Wookiee food for the Wookiee god. That's right. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining. It's been an absolute pleasure hanging out with all of you guys. And who do you name Wookiee? It's actually my little hairy dog, but yeah, close enough. All right, guys. You guys are awesome. I'm going to go hang out with my lovely wife, my smoking hot wife, and we're going to go get some food and probably go see a movie tonight. Man, should be fun. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you on the other side, and take care.